Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 4, Episode 30 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. This week, lots of March Madness here. We're officially through the first two rounds, looking into the Sweet 16 here this week, plus some stuff happening out of the NHL with Alex Ovechkin nearing Wayne Gretzky's goal record. Got lots on that, some NBA, some MLB, some NFL. Lots of good stuff to get us going here this week. Let's introduce my co-host with me here this week, Huff and Mackie. Mackie, why don't you start us off? What do you got?
Yeah, Sweet 16 starts tomorrow. We've had a pretty good first two rounds, round of 64, round of 32. A lot of chalk, a lot of higher seeds winning. No 1, 2, 3, or 4 seeds lost in the round of 64. I think it's the first time since 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they're just getting the job done. It could be NIL, could just be these guys playing good basketball. You never really know. But other than that, MLB starts tomorrow. Excited for that. And NHL, NBA playoffs getting in full swing. So other than that, not much going on.
Heck yeah, looking forward to it. Huff, what do you got for us here before we jump into Sweet 16?
Yeah, I've been loving this tournament so far. I know it hasn't been what everyone kind of wants and expects with March Madness, getting a St. Peter's or one of those into the second weekend. But I mean, the lowest seed we have left is Arkansas, the 10 seed.
Yeah.
That's obviously not your normal Cinderella story here in Coach Calvin. Cinderella probably hasn't been used since his Memphis or UMass days, but I love some of these matchups we have this weekend. Just big school against big school, Power 5 on Power 5. I know you don't get the little guys in it anymore, but honestly, I'd rather see 4.5, 5.5 point spreads in the Sweet 16 than St. Peter's versus Houston or High Point versus Houston, and Houston's a 28-point favorite in the second weekend.
Yeah, everyone's been saying worst first two rounds of the tournament ever, blah blah blah. But we're going to see some incredible.
All the
basketball.
people saying that are the people that try to do the stupid $100 on every underdog.
You're trying to pick that underdog to go far, and it just didn't happen. So
we're going to see some incredible basketball in these late rounds.
Like in the second, literally every single game is good this coming weekend or Thursday and Friday, and they're only going to get better as we go because the teams are going to get better.
Yeah, I agree. I think the worst game is probably Houston versus Purdue, but the game's in Indianapolis, so I mean,
it's still a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that bracket's chalk. That's still 1 through 4 left. That's the only one, the 1 through 4. That's the only one that was full chalk, 1 through 4 for the Sweet 16.
Crazy. Well, let's keep going here in the Sweet 16. We're officially through the first two rounds of March Madness, looking ahead at the Sweet 16 round, which is taking place Thursday and Friday here this week. Let's take a look at some of these games, their spreads, give our early leads on these games before our picks get released on Instagram and Twitter on the day of those games. But let's start out here on Thursday, 7 p.m., number 6 BYU and number 2 Alabama. I don't know exactly where these games are. I can probably look that up. But Alabama.
This game is in Newark, New Jersey, Prudential Center, so no real home field here.
Fair. Alabama favorite here, 5.5 points for them. Total 175.5. Alabama minus 220 on the money line. BYU plus 180. What are you guys thinking here? 6 versus 2.
Huff, what have I been saying about this BYU team? And they're here. They're getting the job
done. And I trusted you for them to get this far in one more round. I need one more win out of this team to shake things up in your bracket. I'm looking pretty good. I'm just outside. I think I'm in third, or obviously there's so many people tied for second, but there's one guy running away with first who's like 30 points ahead of everyone.
Well, all you got to look at is the max points. That's all that really matters.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And I still have very high max points, and I still have all my Elite 8 teams left.
Me too.
So I'd love to not lose BYU here, but that's my ballsy call, quote-unquote ballsy call of the weekend. Huh?
You have BYU?
I have BYU winning this game in my bracket in your league. Losing that game hurt me a lot too.
I had BYU in the Final Four, and then the first day of the round of 64, everyone was on VCU over BYU, and I was like, this is a really bad matchup. I can't have a Final Four going out in the first game, so I switched them to the Sweet 16. I actually had this matchup, and I took Bama in this game because I was so scared BYU was going to lose that first game. Should have stuck with my gut. I've said it since conference tournaments. This BYU team is one to look out for, and they're playing incredible. They're shooting the lights out of the ball. I don't know if you watched that last game. Who were they playing?
BYU?
Wisconsin. They played Wisconsin.
Yeah, they beat Wisconsin.
Shit, dude. the threes were just raining. It was like catch and shoot threes. It was like NBA threes. I was like, this team is doing exactly what I thought they would, and I think Alabama has their hands full this game. It's
Dude,
offense against offense in this game. It's just
I
straight,
was just gonna say
straight points.
Bama has scored 90 points in the first round against Robert Morris, 80 against St. Mary's last round. BYU scored 80 in the first round against VCU and 91 against Wisconsin.
That's
There's a
gonna be a game.
1-point differential in the point scoring for these two teams.
It is all points with this team, and that's how it's been all season with both these teams. They live on their offense, and it's gotten them this far so
I think I
far.
saw it's the highest total in March Madness history.
I did see something about Alabama being undefeated against the spread with a total over 170.5, and I think this one's over. So obviously that favors Bama here, but I mean, dude, this BYU team is special, and and they're only going to be gaining AJ DeBansta next year. So this team, they could have a good next few years too, even if they go out here.
Yeah, dude. I was so confused when he went there, and now I see how good this team is just from watching.
He also goes to high school in Utah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I this is my favorite team in the tournament. I do have Bama winning in my bracket, but if I could switch it, I would, and I wouldn't really be mad if BYU
I'd
wins.
take BYU with the points here. I have them winning. I think there's value in the win. You trusted them. You're literally the only reason I have them picked in this game. So I'd love them to get one more win for me here.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well. Give me the +5.5 for sure.
Good stuff there. Next game, also on Thursday, 7:40 p.m., Maryland and number 4 Maryland versus number 1 Florida. Florida the favorite here, 6.5 points, total 157.5. Florida money line -275. Maryland +220. 1 against 4. What do you guys think here?
Mackie, do you think with me having Florida as the national champion, is that last game against UConn, is that something you should be worried about as a Florida backer?
I should be asking you this question. What
is that something that you would be saying? Because I know how I'm looking at this. Or would you be saying like, that's UConn, that's a really good team, no matter what they're ranked, that's still the back-to-back defending champions. They were gonna play them hard, or would you be like, Florida looks really bad?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that if Florida wanted to play their game, that shouldn't have been a close game, and they should have covered the 9.5 points.
There were so many points Florida could have ran away with that game, and they would let UConn go on like a mini little 6-0 or 8-2 run.
The problem is that Florida wasn't playing their game, and UConn was at the best of their ability. UConn wasn't that good this year. They played great in the tournament. They had that great first game against Oklahoma, I think. They played Oklahoma, right? Yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah, it
UConn beat
was.
Oklahoma and then lost.
And obviously, it was a great effort against Florida. Florida just outmatches them. But I mean, if it wasn't for how clutch Walter Clayton is, then Florida wouldn't even be in this situation right now. You got to assume against better teams they have to step up a little. They're in a really tough situation here.
Maryland matches up really good against them. I'm worried about this game.
Great, and Derek Queen is just we saw what he did for that game winner last week. How do you feel about your national championship pick now? I think
the only thing where's the obviously this game tomorrow. So I mean the money's gonna be pretty accurate. I feel like the public's got to be heavy on Maryland here after the buzzer beater and all over ESPN this week.
I think if anything, it just evened it out. I think Florida.
Maybe not sharp money.
They're still the 1 seed.
Florida is America's team, I think.
Oh
Florida,
yeah, they're definitely
Florida or Duke.
They're definitely I think Duke was the most popular pick on ESPN, and then Florida.
This game's on the other side of the country. It's in San Francisco, so there's no fan base here that's going to be overpowering. In my
What's
opinion.
The point spread, Jesse?
6.5.
6.5.
I just am praying Florida wins this game.
Very, very, very bad matchup for Florida. I could see Maryland getting away with this.
If Florida gets away with this one, I'm more scared about this matchup than whoever they get in the next round.
Texas Tech.
I don't love Texas Tech.
This is the hardest region. Dude, JT Toppin is just too good.
I know. I have Texas Tech picked in that game, and I've been wrong about Arkansas every round. I had Arkansas losing the first round. I'm now officially scared about Arkansas.
Yeah, I guess, but I think their road ends here. We'll get to that later, though. But, yeah, tough matchup for Florida here. I think you play their game, they get the job done. We all know that. But anything's off here. Maryland gets going. They can dig themselves a hole, and if they do what they did last game,
Maryland's had those games this year where I could see if Florida plays their game and Maryland's off, I could see this get a little out of hand. But I think it's going to be a very close game.
For sure, but I mean, if they do what they did last week against UConn and they fall in a hole like that, it's over. They're not coming back against this team. No way.
Yeah, I agree.
Alrighty, here. Next one, another 1 versus 4 tomorrow, 9:40 p.m. Duke and Arizona. Duke the favorite, 9.5 points for them. Total at 153.5. What do you guys think about this one, Duke and Arizona?
Mackie, start us out here. You already have something locked in here.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I've just done it too much. I've said it too much this year with Duke. I'm not sold yet. They haven't played anyone good in the tournament yet. Baylor, we've been saying it all year. They're a little overrated. They beat Mississippi State in the first round. Just kind of overpowered them, outmatched them. I think Jeremy, what the hell is his name? Jeremy
Jeremy
Roach.
Road. I
I
like
think
Edgecombe. I didn't know there was that rivalry with
dude,
VJ
VJ.
Edgecombe and Cooper Flag. Did you see that?
Yeah, from high school. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I
Um,
didn't know. I didn't realize that when going into that game.
Yeah, Baylor outmatched Mississippi State, but they had no business playing Duke last game. Duke's, I mean, they played in the ACC. We saw it all season. They didn't get the competition they should have played all season. And it's Caleb Love versus Duke. We saw what he did in the Final Four against them three years ago at UNC. They're ready for this game. They've played each other this year already. Duke went into Tucson, won by 14 points. Arizona knows the kind of basketball that they have to play against them. This is a really scary game for Duke, I think. And 9.5, I think, is way too much. I think this will be 4-point game
So
max.
so far you've been on every dog. Is this the weekend the underdog better get their money back on the money line?
It's more realistic. Obviously, you get to these top teams, and the underdogs are a little
But
more
Arizona's a what? 8.5-point dog?
9.5.
9.5?
They went to 8.5. They're back to 9.5. I don't see it here. I don't see it. I think this is a very close game. I think Arizona matches up pretty well against them too. Vizar against. I mean,
Do you think
he's gonna
Duke squeaks it out in the end though?
bias, but no.
Okay. Yeah, 9.5's a lot. I think Duke wins a game. I like your play on Arizona plus the point, so I think it's close.
Dude, I've done it too much with Duke this year, though. I mean, they only lost 3 games all season. I shouldn't be hating on them this hard, but you know,
They're fucking good, dude. They're
another
gonna.
tough matchup.
I think they get. I think they'll. I think they win this.
Also, if Tyrese Proctor's banging 7 threes, it's gonna get out of hand too. But that
Yeah,
you just can't expect that to happen again.
yeah. I hope we get Duke BYU in the East.
Alrighty. Let's jump into our final game here tomorrow, Thursday. Number 10, Arkansas. Number 3, Texas Tech. Texas Tech, the favorite here, just 5.5 points total, 148.5. Their money line minus 250. Arkansas plus 200. 3 versus 10. Final game tomorrow. What do you guys think?
What was the spread?
5.5.
I'm a big Texas Tech guy. I have them coming
I
out of this
I
region.
am too. I like Arkansas. I like Arkansas with the point.
It's
This is
just a
kind. I
five and a
feel like
half.
this. How you feel about Maryland? I think this is gonna be
Weird
close.
number.
The 5.5 is so tough because it could be a 2-point game with 30 seconds left, and they can lose
Yeah,
by 7.
yeah.
So they could be right there the entire time. Texas Tech does knock down their free throws as well. I think JT Toppin is going to be a lot.
Any value in a BYU or Arizona teaser with this?
I don't like Arkansas here. I
You
think
don't
they've
like
met their
Arkansas,
match.
yeah.
I
I
think
would
they've
like
met
getting
their match.
Arkansas at like 10.
I think they've met their match here. I think Texas Tech is
I need Texas
Drake's
Tech to
really
win this
good.
game.
Drake's really good, and they took care of them last week. I don't know.
This
I have
is one of
Texas
my
Tech
Elite
coming
8
out of
teams
this
I'm worried
region.
about.
Say again.
This is one of my Elite 8 picks that I'm worried about.
Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have all of them in there, except actually no, that's it. I lost UNC. I lost a couple in the Sweet 16. I think I got 12 or
Yeah.
16 Sweet 16.
I think I'm in the
Ole
same
Miss,
boat as you.
Michigan, Arkansas, and Purdue. And Arizona, I missed 5. I had to work it.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you, right around there. I still have all 8 Elite 8 as well, but big week.
This is when all the brackets really you see who
This
has
is
a
when
good
it comes down to. Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
see a 1 seed go out this week too, or in the next 2 days, I think too.
Yeah.
Alrighty, moving over to Friday here at 7 p.m. Number 2, Michigan State versus number 6, Ole Miss. Michigan State the favorite here, 3.5 points for them. Total 143.5. Michigan State money line minus 180. Ole Miss money line plus 145. What do you guys think about this one here? 7 p.m. on Friday.
Mackie, what are you thinking here?
I like Ole Miss. I think it's a good matchup for them. I think everyone and their mothers is on Michigan State. They're going to be hammered in this game. The line has moved a little. It started at 2.5. It's sitting at 3.5 now. One thing that scares me about Ole Miss is that down the stretch, they don't really hit their free throws. And that's huge when it comes to this type of scenario. Michigan State's the opposite. They hit all their free throws late games. I just think it's a really tough matchup for Michigan State. I think they've kind of what has their road been so far?
Michigan State beat New Mexico and Bryant.
New Mexico was pretty good too. They played well. They fell behind, but they they did what they
Michigan
needed to
State just
do.
choked them out at the end.
I don't know. What do you think here? I don't love a play here.
I like Michigan State minus the 3.5. I kind of feel about Ole Miss how you feel about Arkansas. I think just I guess it's Padula, right?
Yeah, Sean Padula,
I like their coach. I like him. Other than that, I'm not big
Chris
on this Ole
Beard.
Miss team. I thought they should have lost to Iowa State in that last game. I think Michigan State handles business here. I have them moving on. I'm gonna probably take the 3.5 Michigan State.
The way that they played against Iowa State, though, I mean, they just wouldn't give up. And they were hitting
Yeah.
shots left and right. It was a 20-point game. I mean, I know Iowa State had
I think
no.
this Michigan State team's so good. I think I don't know if I think I have them in the Final Four. I think I have them beating Auburn.
Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people
I,
do.
I I still think they can get there. They've looked that good. I mean, like you said, they haven't really played anyone. New Mexico looked pretty good in that game, but Michigan State handled business. But I think this will be a good game. I'm gonna take the 3.5 with Michigan State.
Yeah, I probably won't have a play. I do lean on Ole Miss, though.
Alrighty, moving forward on Friday here. Number 2, Tennessee versus number 3, Kentucky. Tennessee, the favorite, 4.5 points for them. Total 144.5. What are you guys thinking about this one here? 7:40 p.m. on Friday.
I think this is the hardest one of the weekend to call.
This is my favorite game of the weekend. I think it's the easiest.
Really?
I love Tennessee here. These teams
I have Tennessee winning this game and I have them losing in the national championship. This is another one I'm very scared of. I'm scared of both of my national champion picks: Florida against Maryland and Tennessee against Kentucky in these two games.
Who do you think the better team is on paper, or not even
Tennessee.
on paper? Who do you think the better team is?
Tennessee.
Who's won the first two matchups? Kentucky's
No.
2-0 against Tennessee this year. You
All
think
right.
they go
Yeah.
3-0 against Tennessee?
Yeah.
I would say you're insane. I think
Yeah. I like that stat.
this Tennessee team is way too good. Their defense is way too good. I know Kentucky's offense has been on fire. Illinois had no answers for them last week, but God, I love this
I'm
Tennessee
pumped.
spot.
I'm so excited for this game. This can be a great game.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I think Tennessee rolls in this game. It could be a 15-point win.
Go Vols. I like it.
It's just, I mean, to beat a rival 3 times in one season, especially one that
Yeah.
you're
No.
not better than, it's
I
just
didn't know that. I
yeah,
you talked me.
yeah, it's tough, but Tennessee's playing well.
You think Tennessee could get to the Final Four?
No, because
Houston or Purdue?
they have to beat Houston, and I have Houston winning. Houston's just looking incredible, so
They
we'll
look
get to
good
that
against
though.
Gonzaga. Gonzaga covered that though. I was gonna take Gonzaga in that game.
Late.
Alrighty, next one here. Number 1, Auburn versus number 5, Michigan. Auburn, the favorite here, 9.5 points for them. Total 153.5. What are we thinking here? 1 versus 5, 9:40 p.m. on Friday.
Don't like this spread.
Yeah, me either. I mean, I keep fading Michigan, and they keep proving me wrong. That run that they went on in that second half
Yeah, I'm
last
not.
week,
That's what I mean. I'm not fading Michigan
holy
anymore.
shit.
So,
And it's Trey Donaldson against Auburn. Obviously, he's the Auburn transfer over in Michigan. This is a tough game. There's a lot of emotions going into this game. 8.5 is just too much.
yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid this one. I don't like this game. I hope Auburn wins.
Definitely a tough one there. Let's jump into our last game here for the Sweet 16. Number 1, Houston versus number 4, Purdue. Houston, the favorite here, 8.5 points for them. Total 132.5. What do we think?
I would be shocked if Purdue found the points to stay in this game. I would. I think Houston's defense is going to really show in this game. Purdue just doesn't have the answers. Kaufman-Wren has been incredible this March Madness, but I think he's really going to meet his number this week.
Yeah, I have exactly what you said. I think Houston handles them. 8.5's a tough number. I would lean on Houston minus the 8.5 though.
Yeah, for sure. This is the one big spread I think they cover that gets covered.
Alrighty, we're down to just 16 teams here. Is there anything you guys would have changed about your bracket? Do you like your national championship picks? Do you like your Final Four picks? What are your thoughts on your bracket up to this point?
If I was to change anything, it would be BYU to the Final Four. I think I made the wrong decision on that, and it was solely based on I thought that they could lose in the round of 64, but the way that they're going is, I mean, I wouldn't bet against them for anything. That's about the only thing I would change, I think.
Mine, I have Florida beating Tennessee. My final four right now is or my current Final Four in my bracket is Michigan State, Florida over Michigan State, Tennessee over Duke. The only thing I would change is probably Auburn beating Michigan State.
I would also probably, if not that I would, but I would definitely look into it a little more at Arizona over
I would
Duke.
change. I wanted to reword that. Sorry, Michigan State beating Auburn to Auburn beating Michigan State. I obviously hope Michigan State does it because I have them in the Final Four. But I think
You would take Auburn over Michigan
Auburn's
State
got
now?
to be what, a 6.5, 7-point favorite in that game.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Yeah, I would just I'd probably just look at BYU, and then I would look at Arizona as well to beat Duke, but I don't know if I would actually change that. Oh, I also have Florida over Maryland. I would look into that one as well. I'd probably change one of Maryland or Arizona to win, but I would definitely take BYU over Alabama.
Do you have Maryland winning this game in your bracket?
I did, and then I switched it last second, so I do have Florida, but I have Florida going out next round, so I wouldn't mind a Maryland win, especially give Texas Tech a bit of a better matchup too.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, I like it. Briefly here, let's take a look at the odds for some teams to make the Final Four here and win the national championship, and give our picks as we're just a week away from the Final Four. Some big ones here to make the Final Four: Duke -185, Auburn -135, Florida -135, Houston -135, Tennessee +220, Michigan State +250, Texas Tech +300, and Alabama +360. Who do you guys have in your Final Fours again?
I have Michigan State, Florida, Duke, and Tennessee. I like the Tennessee +200.
I have Auburn,
Michigan State +1900
to win it.
National championship. Sorry,
Yeah.
I clicked up. My bad.
I have Auburn, Texas Tech, Houston, Alabama. What's Texas Tech to get to the Final Four?
+300.
Yeah, I think there's crazy value on that, especially being 6.5-point favorites.
Michigan State +250, Tennessee 220.
Wait, Mackie, say yours again?
Auburn beating Texas Tech in the Final Four, and Houston beating Alabama. So I need a Duke and Florida loss big time, because everyone has Duke and Florida in the Final Four. That would go so far.
I think one of them get there.
Or both of them could.
Yeah.
We could see a chalked Final Four too. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was all one.
And we were laughing about those analysts saying 4 1 seeds in the Final Four, but I mean this is the year.
Jay Williams got clowned for his bracket when it was 4 1 seeds in the Final Four, and everyone was like, "Wow, hot take, Jay." And I mean,
All right,
this is the year though. This is the year that the top 4 seeds are that good.
Mm-hmm. Truly. Alrighty, some of these national championship odds. Huff, I know you got Florida. They're sitting at +340. Duke leading the board though at +210. Houston +475. Auburn +475. Tennessee +1600. Alabama +1900. Michigan State also at +1900.
What's
great
Texas
value.
Tech?
I love
Texas Tech is +2200.
I think there's value there. I do. I really do. I think Houston has good value at +475 as well. It's a little high. They shouldn't be the third highest.
Them and Auburn tied for the third highest. And then big jump to Tennessee at +16.
Yeah, they're expecting a 1 seed to win it for sure.
Makes sense. Especially there's definitely more money on those teams than the others.
Yeah, they got to even it out. I would say I'll say Florida and Tennessee. I love Tennessee.
Yeah, could be. Tennessee has great defense.
SEC.
What?
I think it comes out of the SEC.
SEC or Big 12? I have 2 SEC and 2 Big 12 teams in my Final Four.
Because who's left? Big 10 left is just Maryland,
Michigan
Purdue, and Michigan State.
It's
and Michigan.
basically just Maryland or Michigan State winning it.
Yeah.
Because Purdue's not going to win it. I really don't think Maryland's going to win it either.
And Michigan's done this done on Friday.
Michigan State's the only chance at a national championship for the Big Ten.
Big 10, yeah. I have them in the Final Four. I mean, they could beat Florida if they get there, but
I mean, those are the best 2 conferences, the SEC and the Big 12. I know Big Ten's had a great March Madness, but I think it's just the lower seeds that are carrying.
Yeah.
They're playing really well.
Yeah.
Alrighty here. One more point here in the college basketball world. The 2025 coaching carousel continues as we've had a few more moves, including Sean Miller to Texas, Richard Pitino, Richard Pitino to Xavier, Fran McCaffrey to Penn, Ross Hodge from North Texas will be WVU's next head coach. Are we excited about the signing for WVU, and how excited are we to see Richard versus Rick Panito in the Big East next season?
I think getting Ross Hodge from North Texas is a lot like Huggins' style. He's a huge defensive coach. North Texas was a great defensive team this
I
year.
was saying North Texas was good this year.
Yeah, they're still playing actually.
Yeah.
In the NIT, but they're a huge defensive team. It's a lot like Huggy played. This could be good for W. Other than that, I'm excited for Richard and Rick Pitino to go at it twice a year. They always have good games. Other than that, I don't really have much.
Yeah, I agree. I was
Fran
shocked to see
McCaffrey to
Tennessee, I was
Penn
shocked
or
to see
Penn
Tennessee
State?
fire Rodney Terry, but Sean Miller there. I like Sean Miller. He's a Pittsburgh guy. Go to Texas. What was the other one?
Fran McCaffrey to Penn. Is that Penn or Penn State?
Penn. That's like a total
University of
downgrade. He went to
Pennsylvania.
Iowa to Pennsylvania.
Did you see what's that guy's name? Stilts from Drake?
Third.
Sturts. He just transferred to
He
Iowa.
followed that coach what's his name? Ben McCollum.
I don't know what his name is, but
The coach
he's going to
from
Iowa. I don't
Drake.
think I probably should have went somewhere else.
Yeah.
He could have gotten other offers.
Alrighty, let's jump into the NHL here, starting out with our power rankings. Coming in at number 5, the Dallas Stars, followed by number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes, number 3, the Colorado Avalanche, number 2, the Winnipeg Jets, and number 1, the Washington Capitals. What are you guys thinking about our power rankings here coming into this week?
Put those Winnipeg Jets at number 1, boys. We saw last night even. I mean, they took it to them, a nice one-goal victory.
You can't use last night as a put them in
What,
number 1.
The overtime win?
They were an overtime win across the country. Not even across the country, across a different country in Winnipeg.
Yeah, but you want to know something, though?
Shot them.
But who is the Hart Trophy favorite playing for? The Washington Capitals or the Winnipeg Jets?
Yeah, we'll see him get swept 4-0 in the first round anyway.
The Capitals, you mean, right?
Both of them, probably.
Yeah. I mean, the Jets, yeah, that history is crazy. But I think I don't know about you guys, because they play Connor Hellebuck way too much. I mean, they've never had a true second goaltender. And guys like Vasilevsky did it and won a cup, a few of them. But who else in the NHL that plays that many games and then goes on to win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, you're gassed by playoffs.
Even the big names. We saw Tuukka Rask, Henrik Lundqvist. They couldn't get the job done. They got there.
I feel like in the playoffs, it's usually not even him that's the reason. I feel like it's more they kind of.
No, last year it was him.
Dude, I was watching him last year and I was like, this guy is so overrated.
Didn't he have a 780
save so bad. I was like, this guy's getting lit up.
That was an anomaly, though. I really think I do. Tough year. Him, Otter. I mean, that rest of that power ranking, though. I mean, yeah, the Caps are really good, but even with the Jets, I mean, these two teams, we got to see it in the playoffs, regardless. The Stars, the Avalanche are an absolute wagon. Those two teams are loaded top to bottom. And then who do we have at 5 right now? The Hurricanes, they're really good. I think they made the right move flipping Rantanen. That guy's kind of a cancer, not producing in Dallas. But what do you guys think about some of those teams that missed?
Who even missed? Vegas missed, I think.
The Lightning.
Lightning are right there.
Lightning are really good. Edmonton, but Leon and Connor are out right now.
Injured, yeah.
The rest of that lineup's starting to heat up, which is pretty good. Evan Bouchard, Adam Henrique, the depth there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, his resurgence has been real without Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. Zach Hyman coming off the injured list and putting pucks in the back of the net like he always does.
Yeah, I think we got the right 5, though.
Yeah, I think so, too. That Hurricanes team is so loaded top to bottom. I mean, look at their defensive core, and then they still have the depth like Jordan Stahl playing down there, guys that can match up with anybody. And their goaltending's pretty good, too. Who's going to get that start in the playoffs? Is it Kochetkov? Is it Anderson? I think both are pretty valid nowadays.
That's another team that will find their way out by.
Whoever does
in
start.
the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they roll in the first 2 rounds, and then they get to the ECF and just do what they do and lose.
I don't know.
Swept. What are they, 0-12 in the last 5 years in the Eastern Conference Finals?
So how's it work with the second round? Because obviously first round, the 2 and 3 seeds in the division play each other, and then the 1 seeds get a wild card.
Yeah, it doesn't reseed, so it stays on the side of the bracket, I believe.
So what if the wild card team beats the Caps?
Or does it reseed in the NHL? It might reseed in the NHL.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. It just stays on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but they'll play the Devils in the first round. That'll be a good matchup.
Yeah.
But without Jack Hughes, I mean, without Dougie Hamilton and Jack Hughes, I think they're both done for the year, right?
I feel like every
Jack
time
Hughes
we've
is.
talked about the NHL each week, there's been two different teams in this wild card spot. I think the Senators have kind of
Senators are
solidified
locked.
one spot.
The Senators are in the Atlantic though, so they're gonna stay there, I think, right? Tampa, Toronto firing all cylinders. We
Yeah,
cashed them -1.5
they're not gonna
last night.
They're not gonna catch them.
That the Atlantic side just has that 1 seed in play with the Panthers too, another team that missed our ranking. And you know what
Panthers and
else?
Leafs are tied right now.
Yeah, that 1 seed's very much up for grabs, and the
I-
Lightning aren't too far back, right?
Me and
2
Mackie were
points.
talking about. I was saying I want the Leafs to get that 1 seed so we can
The
get
Battle of Florida in
so
the
we can
first
get-
round.
Yeah, the Battle of Florida in the first
I want the
round.
Battle of Florida in the second round though.
But I'd rather guarantee you're gonna get it.
Yeah, I think it is guaranteed though. I
Yeah.
think that the Leafs do not want to see the Panthers or the Lightning in the first round at all.
I know. Yeah.
And then if they see that's like one first round series the Toronto Maple Leafs could win is maybe against the Montreal
But
Canadiens.
Mackie pointed out, he goes, the Leafs also do not want to get the 1 seed and see the Senators in the first round.
Oh yeah, they would get the
They would get the
Sens, you're right,
Senators. They
because
don't
the
want-
Caps,
That's a
yeah.
bad.
Oh
that's
no,
a-
you don't want to see Brady Tkachuk against Austin Matthews. That's a tough matchup.
No, and that's the Battle of Ontario too. So I mean, you that's a bit of a rivalry up
But
there.
those are two franchises that historically choke early in the playoffs too. So somebody would have to win the series. Maybe that's
I
a
don't know, I
blessing in
think
disguise.
I think whenever Ottawa's in the playoffs, they actually have pretty good success.
I was gonna say
When was
the
last time they
Penguins-
were there? Like
They
Dan
did with the Penguins
Gofflinson?
in, like 2014, yeah.
I was gonna say when the Penguins won back-to-back cups, we beat them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the second time.
What was that?
Yeah.
Jason Spezza, Wade
Yeah,
Redden,
it
and Daniel
literally-
Alfredson.
It was
it
like
literally is.
Eric Carlson was still there.
Boys, let me tell you this. So that's over a decade ago. I mean, Danny Heatley was ripping clap bombs from the
Right,
bottom of
but-
the zone then.
But they don't historically have like bad success in the playoffs. They actually have
Craig
pretty good
Anderson in the
success
pipes.
playoffs.
Oh God, dust. Talk about
Craig
dust.
Anderson, holy shit! I can't believe.
I'll
that
tell you
name-
what, though. You know who's going to be kicking it well in the playoffs for them is going to be Linus Ullmark. That guy's looked great ever since he's came back from injury in that Four Nations tournament. And top to bottom, what about the ad of Dylan Cousins going to the Senators, meshing so well with that top line? Jacob Chitrum, we saw him step up. Jake Sanderson. Jake Sanderson, we saw him step up in the Four Nations face-off. Chitrum just got the bag in Washington, I believe.
Yeah.
But we saw Sanderson step up in the Four Nations tournament without Quinn Hughes. He was that late call-up with McAvoy down, and he looked good. I mean, the depth is there. What is it? Giroux, Pinto. There's so many different guys who can crack the score sheet. I think it's Batherson, too. That team's tough to play. Stutzel and Kachuk, we know how great they are. I think they could win that first round, especially if they get the Leafs. They get the defending champs, though. Not sold on it, or even the Lightning. I think those veteran teams can actually hang with the physicality and intensity that Brady Tkachuk's team brings. But the Leafs, on the other hand, I think they'd have their hands full.
You see, Marchand can make his debut.
Yeah, I think I was about to say that before we talked about the Battle of Florida, which I'm telling you, give me that in the second round because those two teams, one of them deserves to go to the ECF at least. But Marchand make his debut this week. I saw a great quote the other day. It said, when you play against the Bennett Kachuk Marchand line, you're either going to get scored on every time or you're going to get a concussion every time. And that's like the most true statement I've ever heard.
I think Florida's going to be tough to beat.
You know who isn't what they thought he would be is Seth Jones. Is he a fraud? I think he always has been in his career.
I was going to say I personally never thought he was that good. So when he went to Florida, I thought Chicago fleeced them in that trade.
Oh my God, the fact they got a pick back with a franchise goaltender in Spencer Knight. The thing is, Seth Jones was the biggest name on the market, and his sheer size alone, and his potential, and his ceiling.
I think it was just the Panthers were like, he's probably not going to play here during our prime.
Yeah, Aaron Ekblad suspended for 50 games or
And they
whatever.
knew
the hell
that was
it is.
coming. They were like, we need someone to eat up minutes on the back end. Boom, perfect scenario.
Yeah, and he fits the mold well.
I
He's literally
do think they could have done that trade with like a third round pick. I do not think they needed to give up a first round pick for that.
No, but shout out to the Blackhawks. We'd love to see a rebuild with Bedard up there, a little TDR, toe drag release. Always want to see the Blackhawks get good. But yeah, the East is an absolute wagon. In the West, like we said, Winnipeg's there, Edmonton's there, Dallas is there, Colorado. What about some of those teams that are fighting for the bubble, though? Was it St. Louis and the LA Kings? The LA Kings are a little bit of a wagon now, huh? I mean, they did the right rebuild. That's what Huff, I think I've said this to you a million times since we've been doing the podcast. That's the rebuild that the Penguins should have done. It's literally carbon copy.
There's a lot of ways they could do it. They just won't do it.
No, but they did the same exact formula. They won a couple of cups in the mid 2010s, right? A little bit after you guys. They kept around Kopitar. They
That
kept
was
around
before.
Doughty. And And then they rebuilt with young superstars, Quentin Byfield, more. They brought in Kuzmenko. They still have Doughty, like I said, but they got Clark on the back end. They changed their goaltender. They got rid of Jonathan Quick, so they got rid of a cornerstone. I just think there's a lot of similarities between your two teams, but they're always relevant. And I saw a lot of people saying this could be the year that they take out Edmonton in the first round.
I like that. I like that Kings team.
Kings don't lose at home.
I hate the Kings. I don't know why. Like I don't mind them, but when I watch them, I was like, I just want them to lose. Like I want Edmonton to beat them, but they do have the team, and I think I've heard mixed reviews on Darcy Kemper. What do you guys think about him?
I mean, he played well last night. I was watching that Ranger game, and
He's been on a heater.
Rangers had that pressure on him, but yeah, he held strong. He's been playing well.
After last year, I mean, people were kind of thrashing him, saying he was carried with Colorado and whatnot, which he might have been. But do you think he has the potential to win a playoff series or go deep into the playoffs to carry a team?
That team plays really well in front of him, so I mean, he could definitely win a series. I don't know how deep they would get, but I mean, dude, that team plays strong, dude. They don't turn the puck over a lot.
Yeah, and then right with them, I believe some other teams out there. Another one we didn't really mention too much: Vegas and Minnesota. Two other teams. I don't think anybody's worried about Minnesota, but the talent they have out there is pretty good. We saw what a lot of those guys did in Four Nations.
I still think Vegas is
The team
very
to beat.
good. Yeah.
You like Vegas over Colorado?
No, I'd say Colorado than Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas just has that veteran presence.
Playoff terms.
They're so big though in the depth. You know who's been heating up for them? That's like I think they got him for a steal when they did the LTIR scheme. Was Tomas Hertl? I mean, that guy is such a dog. I saw him drop a hattie a couple nights ago.
He's been playing really well.
I like Hannafin.
Think about all those names when they were drafted before they went to Vegas. Imagine you were saying this pick is going to play with this guy and this guy. Like you got Eichel and William Karlsson and Thomas Hertl, Mark Stone. Their depth is great. Dorfiev stepped up. They brought in Barbashev, Hannafin. I think who's out right now? Petrangelo.
Yeah, he's out.
Petrangelo and McNabb got hurt in the Four Nations face-off. He's probably not too far from return.
Dude, imagine that never happened with Logan Thompson, and he was having that good of a year that he's having for the Capitals. There, I mean, they're just a team.
He got blackballed there, but he's a great goaltender. But who was it? Aiden Hill. Then he's been pretty good lately.
I think it was your boy Cassidy that ran him out of town.
Yeah, him and I believe DeBoer before him actually both didn't like Logan Thompson for some reason. Remember he used to split the net heavily with Robin Lehner? I always thought that was crazy, but I guess locker room issues aren't a thing in Washington. They built a good culture. But I'm excited for this playoff race. It's heating up. You got the playoff standings right there, Huff. Are the Blues still in the mix?
Blues have that second wild card right now.
Do they? And then right behind them is the Canucks and the Ducks.
Flames.
Mackie, who did we say last week?
Oh yeah.
I think I said the Flames would get in.
And then we looked at the Blues. The Blues have like a cakewalk, and then I think we said the Blues.
Yeah, Blues are a 7-game heater too, but they have
what. Blues do not have a cakewalk.
This Blues team though, do you guys pay attention to them at all?
Blues have kind of a gauntlet at the end.
Do you know who's been absolutely tearing it up for them? There's a bunch of new names. Yeah, they have guys that we've all heard of before, like Braden Shen, Jordan Binnington, but Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway's on an absolute heater. I think he has 13 points in his last 8 games. Jake Neighbors, another young name that stepped up. And then on the defensive side, Philip Broberg is one of the better defensemen in the league, one of the better young defensemen. So they another group of guys that found young mix of talent. And let's not forget who's coaching that team, making a statement, returning to his former team that he first started with, is Jim Montgomery from the Bruins, who had very big success in his 2 years as a head coach. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them continue this trend and get into the playoffs on a heater. While I do think the Flames and Canucks are a better team on paper, I just think the Blues are playing better hockey.
Yeah, they're definitely doing everything they can to get into the playoffs, but they have a gauntlet coming up. So I mean, they're beating these teams that they should.
They have a couple cupcakes, and then they have a 3-game stretch where it's
Avs twice, at the Jets, at the Oilers.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're for real or not. That Flames team, though, with Dustin Wolf, I mean, Huberdeau's coming back around. Nazem Kadri, I'm a big fan of his game. He really turned that team around. But they have depth at some places, too, but they're really being carried by their rookie goaltender who's pushing for the Calder, even. Canucks are dead, though. I mean, I think. I like betting on them, though. I've gotten so much value on them this year with Kevin Lankinen in it. I don't think he gets any respect after taking over for Demko and getting his own little bag there. But I just think they're dead this season. They need to reset, maybe move on from Elias Pettersson because he's not that guy.
Yep.
Alrighty, I got one more point here in the NHL. Alexander Ovechkin's nearing Wayne Gretzky's goal record. He scored number 889 on Tuesday, the 25th, just 5 from tying, 6 from beating it. 6 games from now would put him at Caps versus Islanders on April 6th if he continues his 1 goal a game that he's been doing here this past, I don't know, it's been like what? He's on some wild streak, isn't he?
6 in 11 more games. You think he gets it? I don't think he
Yes.
does. I don't
Yes.
think he does.
You don't
I
think he has?
think
Really?
You don't think
I
he has
think he
another?
goes it by like
you-
5.
You don't think he has another multi-goal performance in him?
No,
he
I
has
don't.
2 or 3 more.
What was the game? They played the Panthers. They
When
won
he had all the
6
assists.
6-3. He had 3 assists, no goals. I was like, dude, shoot the puck. Like, you're still only playing for one reason.
What if he misses by 1 and it ends up being that one where he passed up the empty net chance? Yeah, Jesse, he's scoring every other game for the past 1, 2, 3, 4. So he has 3 goals in his last 5 games, all single goal games. He's got Minnesota, Buffalo, and Boston.
They don't play many tough teams left. I was just looking at that. They play the Hurricanes twice. Every other team's like wild card or below.
6.
I don't really think it matters who they play. I mean, he could score against anyone. It's just
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's
Mac,
I
you know
think
how many
he can get it.
pucks are going to be on net? Should we just keep carding Ovechkin shots on goal?
yeah, the shots on goal is better than the actual goal, but I hope he gets it.
The
I really
odds are
do.
deflated on the goal.
I think he's gonna need another season, and give him another season so he can beat it by like 20 or 30, however many he gets next year.
I'm with
but-
Jesse. I think he beats it this year. He needs 6 more. He's got 11 games. I bet you he finishes with 8 more.
Penn's last game, home game of the season's at home against the Capitals. I
Oh,
wouldn't
do it
be, I,
against
I
the
wouldn't be surprised if he
Pens.
scored 3.
Do it against the Pens.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
Like, you know,
Huff would
everybody-
hate that. Huff looks like he's shaking right now,
everybody
just thinking
scores on
about
the
it.
Pens though, so it's like
I mean, I think it's really impressive that he's doing the whole goal thing, but like, I think it's 10 times more impressive that Sid is going to beat Gretzky's point per game record.
no shot.
It's more impressive. It should be. It should definitely be honored a little more.
You're telling me that there's a countdown going on every hockey website of that? No, but there is on Ovechkin.
It would be consistency over career. I think is way better than
I think
goals.
it's
Consistent.
about,
I
but it's
think.
not
No.
as
And
good.
the
I
other
totally
the other
disagree.
thing I was gonna say is I saw a video. If you guys have ever seen that Coach Chippy guy on Instagram,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, he must be getting close in assists
oh, yeah,
too,
he's gotta
right?
be getting close in assists, right? And he's like, well, I think he's at like 752, and then he goes, oh, he only needs 1,500 more. Cool.
No, I do think that's a very that's a way better stat for your career to just like help the
Yeah.
longevity of being an impactful player.
I
But
think
the
he's about to have Crosby's about to have his 20th
highlight and like the gloss of just saying you're the biggest goal scorer of all time, like
I don't
this guy's
disagree.
just dropping his wrench at the bar, saying
Right.
I'm the best.
Crosby
goal
would be
scorer
getting
of
talked about a lot
time.
more if this wasn't going on in the same season.
That's a good point too.
Sid's also going to play a lot longer than Ovechkin.
You think
Well,
how many
in
more
the
years do you think
NHL,
he has
in the
left?
NHL, because we know.
Ovechkin's not going to go play in Russia.
Oh
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
think
he
that'd be
is.
the-
Oh
No,
yeah,
he's-
he is.
guys, he's not. He
Like,
can't.
He
yeah,
can do like
dude.
what Yager is and like play when he's like 46.
in a league on a team he owns.
I
Again,
think
in
he'd do
not,
that, like,
not
whenever
in
he
Russia.
truly can't play in the NHL
He's
anymore.
not going to go play in Russia. He might go
Okay.
play in like Czechoslovakia, where
The
Yager
Czech
plays.
league, yeah, with Yager by a team
Much,
who
much
play for
different.
him.
much
I
different.
bet you we see Ov lace him up somewhere else though.
Yeah, I don't think he go plays. He does not go back home.
You don't think?
Never. I don't think Malkin does either. I think when they decide to actually leave, they're not going to go to Russia.
I
They
don't
won't
know.
be able to compete.
Doesn't no, but they don't need to. Either Kovalchuk did it. The amount of guys that do it though is
Yeah,
crazy.
Kovalchuk left when he was like 32.
Yeah, he got bounced from the league. No,
Who
but
was
I
he
still
with
think
when
they
he
would just do it for
Devils?
money grab.
Yeah, the Devils. He played like half a season with the Devils, and
Yeah,
like,
they paid
like
him all
a
that money and then he
12-year
left.
deal.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think isn't Malkin the guy that's always like that clip with Biz where he's like everything better in Russia, Russian girls,
He does all,
Russians,
yeah.
you know, little Gino. But yeah, shout out Ovi. I think he gets it. Hoff, are you on it? Mackie says no. Jesse says yes. I say yes.
I think he gets it and like clears it by 1.
Yeah, I say 2. Let me see.
Gets the record and then that'll be it.
What's he have for goals in the year right now?
I could 889. On the year. I don't know. Sorry.
36, I
Doesn't he need
think.
6 goals to break it,
I
5
think
to
he's at
tie it.
36.
5 to tie, 6 to break.
I think he gets 6. In 11 games, I'll take 6 goals.
He's
That's a
at
goal.
36
That's
I
good.
wouldn't be surprised if he does like get it or get 1 and then he's like, all right, all done. Like let's just say there's 2 games left and then he just doesn't shoot the puck.
He could just. I mean, they're going to be in the playoffs. If he
He's
gets
also
the
looking
record
for a
in the
cup.
regular season, I'd rest those last 2 games if I was him.
Well, is it
He wouldn't
career
do it.
goals or is it career regular season goals?
No, it's
it's regular
regular
season.
season.
Yeah, that's what I
The
thought.
playoffs don't count.
So
That's what I thought.
if he gets to, what is it, 895 is the magic number for the record?
Yeah.
Yeah, 894 is the
If he
record right
gets
now.
895 and there's 2 games left in the season and I'm him, I'm sitting out those last 2 games. I'd be like, if I
Why?
really want to break this record, I'll play again.
I
They don't
don't
sit
think
out in the
so.
NHL. They
I
don't do
wouldn't-
that.
He
In
wouldn't
his
do that.
age,
Not
the
him.
1 seed in the playoffs,
They don't
I'm
do
definitely
that.
sitting
Not
out. He has
Alexander
a star of
Ovechkin.
a 1 seed going into the
Did you not see how good of
in the
shape he's in?
NHL
He was
playoffs?
ripping a Subway sandwich and hot Cheetos going on to a road trip. the other day.
That's what I
did
mean.
see
I'd be
that.
like, dude, I want to chill for a couple days.
No, but they're going after one of their best seasons in his. This could be their best season in his career, right?
I don't know. You'd have to look at some of those
They
seasons.
had
think it
they
might
had
be.
all those President's Cup years where, I mean, they're going to win it this year, aren't they?
They're on
Them and the
neck
Jets
and
are
neck.
right there.
He's won. I feel like the Capitals have won like I feel like at least 4 President's Cups in his career.
let me
Yeah,
see.
but then they fucking choke.
Well, they'd run into us and then we'd beat
Well,
them
yeah.
all the time.
Hey, Ovi got his. You can't hate him. He got his.
Oh yeah.
I used to love
Capitals.
seeing the Flyers and Capitals in the playoffs. That was like 2 first round bye and a second round bye. It
Yeah.
just took a couple games.
Except for the Braden Holtby like Linsanity run. Jeez.
The one year when they finally beat us, when I was at that game,
Oh,
when
this is-
they beat us in overtime. I was like,
Oh.
they're gonna fucking win the cup this year.
Yeah,
Actually-
that's all they need to do is get past you.
Once they got past us, I was like, they're gonna fucking do it this year. He's
I've
finally gonna get
I've
it.
got a few. He was right with this take. I don't think they're going to beat this one. There's a couple times 2015, 2016, then 2016, 2017, 120 points, 118 points. In 2009, they put up 121 points.
What's this for?
Capitals points in
regular
the
season
season.
points.
They're currently at 103 with 11 games left, though. So
Crazy.
They're maxing out at 124. There's
that would be their
125.
best season. That'd be their
125 they
best
would max
season.
out at. Yeah, they'd have to go 11-0 in their last 11 games.
What do you think they go?
Look at
Probably
their-
8 and
Look
3.
at their schedule.
They probably go 8 and 3, just based on what they've done so far this year.
At the
Look at-
Wild
look
isn't
at their
easy.
schedule. The only real team they play, we just said, is the Hurricanes.
Wow, they're good.
Yeah, but you gotta beat the Bruins in Boston. You gotta beat the Islanders who are going for a
Bruins are
playoff spot
tanking.
twice. You gotta beat the Jackets who are going for a playoff spot.
Those teams are dust, though.
Yeah, especially those Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're gonna rebuild quick. At least you guys are. Oh wait,
At least
no,
we're
you're not
what?
making it either. You're not making it either. Don't
No,
worry.
we're not. We're not. We're 3-6-1 in our last 10. If we make it, it's just embarrassing.
If
It's
the
embarrassing
Bruins,
for the rest of the league.
the Bruins win out, they have a 73% chance of
The
making the playoffs.
East wild card race is like everyone wants to lose, and the West is like they're all like on 6-game winning streaks. It's like
And the thing is, all those teams in the West under the Kings are fucking mid because all those teams at the East would wipe them. I think even at their depleted state.
no way, dude. These East teams suck. Like the
Give
Rangers.
me the
Islanders-
Rangers over all those teams in the West.
Have you need to watch a Ranger game before you say something like that. Like it's just like embarrassing, dude.
I think I'm just teeing it up for Mackey to shit on his own team.
No, I think you look at the names and you're like, oh, these guys have to be
No,
good,
I-
and then you go and watch them.
I just look at the starting goaltender. I'm like, oh, this guy's gotta win the game, right? Like, nope, he gets outshot 39-13, and they somehow win. Sometimes.
Those are fun.
Alrighty, let's jump over to the NBA here, running into some power rankings for this week. Coming in number 5, the Knicks. Number 4, the Rockets. Number 3, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Number 2, the Boston Celtics. Number 1, the Oklahoma City Thunder. What are we thinking about those power rankings for the NBA coming into this week?
Huff, what do you think about your Philadelphia 76ers not being in the top 5?
I don't want to talk about
week. I think they could have slid in, but
it.
Well, no,
I,
he's repping the jersey on the wall now. Nah, it's a little bit cooler than that.
I don't know this. We're not talking about the 76ers. I won that, but I don't think much has changed on this list from last week. Is this our same list from last week?
the
Or did
Knicks
we have
slid in,
Denver
but
in
like
there?
it's because nobody else wants to win games right now. So
That's
Yeah,
because LeBron and Luca were hurt because that
Well,
Lakers team
LeBron
went
comes
healthy.
back tonight. LeBron's
He
back.
played
tonight.
last game.
Did he?
Yeah, he just didn't do anything.
yeah, he had like
Bronny James is getting the hype. Is that why you didn't even worry? You were worried about Bronny in the G League putting up 39?
No one ever asks how Bronny's doing. They're asking how
Yeah.
Bronny's
He's
feeling. They
hooping
don't
in the
ask how
G
Bronny's
League.
feeling.
Yeah. Well, Stephen A is not allowed to talk about him, so I don't know if we are either. But on top of that, I mean, those other teams right there, who are we missing from that top list? The Grizzlies, they're pretty good.
Warriors.
Yeah, I had the Warriors in my list. I mean, they're just on fire. The Jimmy
They got
Butler trade
smacked
was like,
Miami last night without.
Yeah, I
Smacked
watched that.
Miami.
What the hell was that?
No Steph.
yeah, but still, I mean, Tyler Harrow and crew taking it to you. It's because they were in those powder blue city editions.
No, it's because Jimmy called out heat culture. He said it's more the players, not the.
Oh, I forgot it was a revenge game.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah,
you forget that?
because I mean, I think of Steph Curry when I think of the Warriors.
Well, and he literally said that before the game. They asked him. They were like, they asked him some dumb question about heat culture that they were going to spin into a negative headline no matter which way he said it, and he said something like, "I think you can have that kind of culture no matter where it is. It's more the players than anything." And then
They
turned
made it sound
the-
like the Jimmy Butler was trashing the
Jimmy
current
Butler
roster.
was heat culture. Like that's what they were making it seem like. And then obviously the Heat won last night. So
Yeah, Tyler Hero, I saw he had no comment and said he didn't talk to him after the game. I think he's pretty good. And they have Khalil Ware and Bam Adebayo. They got some good pieces. They'll be good in a couple years, but yeah, irrelevant. But I still think the Warriors are at the top of my list. What do you guys think about those Bucks? Are they something to worry about at all? I always warned of them being the Eastern dark horse all year long.
You
I
see
don't
the
know.
thing about Dame?
Yeah, what
Yeah, he's
happened
out.
to him?
He got blood
Like how
clots
long?
indefinitely.
Yeah, what like
It could
we-
be the season. He could be out for the
Yeah.
season if they don't get it under control. But they're giving him blood thinners, see what happens. Could be back next week. Could be back in October. You never know.
my boy Jason Tatum's taking a few games off because he fell hard in his ankle, but he should be good.
Yeah, you see him sitting there on the ground like he just got shot in the foot, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, he's questionable for the next game."
You want to know what he said? He said, "It's nice to be 27, though." It is. People forget all their other
He's still
superstars are old.
19.
Yeah, right. Guy's nasty. It's nice to see Kristaps Porzingis playing healthy, playing well. Drew Holiday back in the mix too. I mean, that team's so deep. I could go on and on about.
You
him.
think all Tatum misses is a couple games?
He was questionable for this
They're
game.
gonna be
tonight,
so cautious with him, though?
That's what
He-
I'm saying. I think they're gonna.
If he needed to, he could play tonight.
Yeah, if it was the playoffs, he'd be playing. But
He's
I
actually
think,
not even ruled out yet tonight.
yeah, so he'll probably play next
Upgraded to
week.
questionable 2 hours ago.
I wonder if he'll play. He'll probably play like next week. I bet you they rest him throughout the weekend. But that Thunder team, they're fun to watch. I watched them just absolutely thrash the Sacramento Kings last night.
Yeah,
SGA.
we'll see him
Just
get bounced in
absolutely
the second round.
But by who?
Right now it's looking like the Lakers.
I don't know though. The injuries have been scaring me now because those two guys do like to miss games. Luka and LeBron, they get injured, or even if they play through it, they'd be playing banged up.
In the playoffs, yeah, they're gonna play.
Yeah, but them being even banged up, that's a fast team.
Luka did it last year without LeBron. You think he can't do it with LeBron
I
now?
do think he can, but I think this Thunder team also got a lot better. They added Hartenstein too, who's looked really, really good with them, and their defense has gotten a lot much better. SGA is having the best year of his career too. The bench is really good. That's the one thing people don't
He's
talk
not
about.
going to get those calls in the playoffs like he does in the regular season, though.
Yeah, but
Gotta
still,
stop foul baiting.
they have some great stats. I think they produce the most turnovers in the league. They generate the least turnovers on offense in the league. Guys like Lou
This is
Dort.
exactly like what you say about the Caps. Like Caps probably have the best numbers in the league too, and then you get to the playoffs and you got to get the job done.
Yeah, I just think basketball's a different sport though too. Like their lineup is just so good. Like their depth is really, really good. I think their bench players are much better than the rest of the league. Their role players. I really like their coach too. He's got them playing great basketball. He makes the right calls. I don't know if you guys saw a few weeks ago that thing he was doing with the subs to slow down the game versus Jokic. I thought that was pretty clever. But yeah, I know I side with you. Like the Lakers definitely could. I could see myself betting on them. I think a few weeks ago I told Huff I think I see Lakers and Celtics in the finals. But it is so hard to cash out this Thunder team because they are such a wagon.
They're. I mean, yeah, they're definitely good. I have a future ticket on the Lakers, and that's the team I'd be worried about.
Yeah, I think so too.
Them in Denver.
Denver always. Jokic, whenever you see him on the floor, he's tough, and they got some good pieces around him. I mean, we know how good they can all be, and some new young guys around there too. What about teams like the Pistons? Do they have any chance to make some noise?
I don't think yet.
I don't think so.
Take out the Knicks in the first round?
Let's hear it, Ace. Why are they going to beat the Knicks?
Because if Aaron Nemhart, whatever his name is, can go into MSG, Cade Cunningham can go into MSG and do the same thing in less games.
Mm-hmm. Let's see it.
Knicks win tonight?
Knicks Pistons would be
Maybe.
a great first round series.
It's what it's looking like too, I believe.
Knicks in 5. If Brunson's healthy.
What if Brunson's not healthy?
Then you're talking about a different team. But I mean, Cat and Josh Hart both had triple doubles last night. So I mean, they still have the supporting cast. Without Brunson, they're still beating the Pistons.
No, I agree with you easily.
They're
I
not
don't
beating
see
anyone
any. I don't see any upsets in the first round of the NBA in the Eastern Conference. I think the Bucks, the Knicks, the Celtics, and the Cavs all move on, so we get some chalk quarter and semifinals. But You never know. I mean, the East is a little bit more valid than it has been. Like, do you think this Pistons team is better than the Magic of years past? Probably not, but they're right on
I
cue.
think they're about on par.
Yeah,
I think they're all. Yeah, I think there's just
They're all
that
the same.
second tier in the East and the West.
What about the Pacers? Any chance they make a little noise like they did last year? Who'd they
They've
upset
been
in the
playing
first round?
well. I don't think they did upset. Weren't they a 4 seed last year?
Oh, they were the 4 because it was the year the Bucks weren't that good.
yeah.
Or they beat the
and
Sixers.
Sixers were the 7. No, Knicks beat the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, they have pieces though. They have the right people to do it. I like Halliburton a lot. I like Siakam a lot. They got a few other guys out there too. But do I think they make any noise? No. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
that's
I'm going top 4 in the East. I don't think anybody gets upset out of those ones.
I agree.
West though, that'll be a fun one to
Yeah,
follow.
West is a little different.
Even the play-in's gonna be fun to follow there. Because it's heating up for the play-in. Isn't the 11th seed a good team?
Dallas.
Yeah, I mean the Anthony
No,
Davis
but
is
the
back.
Suns are the 12, and the Suns will get in there. Oh wait, no, Suns are the 10 now.
But Anthony Davis back in the mix. Klay Thompson.
No
mean,
way, the Mavs are making a run.
That'd be funny though.
That would be.
It's gonna
Especially
be it's
they
gonna be a
almost
battle for that.
forfeited games.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
a battle for that
that,
6 seed.
I don't know if that. How many? What they sent out? What 6 guys the one night? 7
Yeah.
guys the one night.
Oh, it's 8. 8. If you go less than 8, you have to forfeit.
You have to forfeit.
That'd be crazy. I don't think they do, but the fact that that race is still heating up, and then like of those playing teams, what 7 through 10, those teams can all make a run if they get in. I
Yeah,
don't know if you guys disagree. What is
for
you
the
got like
Kings, but the other 3 could.
the
Yeah,
Wolves?
Wolves,
The-
Suns, Clippers. They could all.
Timberwolves are
Kawhi
the
in the
same team they were
playoffs.
last year.
Yeah,
They lost Cat.
Sacramento. You don't like Zach LaVine, Sabonis, and
They're just
Malik Monk?
not good enough to beat one of those top teams.
Yeah, I
and they're
agree.
gonna have to play either the Thunder or the Nuggets or
Yeah.
Thunder or the Rockets right now.
Rockets could be a first round bounce.
Yeah, you're right.
Imagine Kawhi Leonard gets them. That'd be a good
Yeah,
series
tough.
for him.
Rockets
That's
are good, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it's
that's a
inexperience.
that's a dream scenario for the Clippers. I think is to get the Rockets in the first round if they can get out of the play-in. Probably everybody's dream scenario, right? You don't want to run into the Thunder or the Nuggets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Or the
don't know. I'd take the
Grizzlies
Grizzlies.
maybe. Yeah, Grizzlies maybe. Ja Morant just playing some guns around. Maybe
Like
get
if
him
I was
off
the
the court.
Lakers, I'd want the Grizzlies or the Rockets, but you're not going to get the Rockets.
Yeah, it'll be fun to follow though. Excited for that to keep hitting up. People getting rested now for those really good teams, which is making it a little bit boring in my opinion. And then those teams that are clearly out just automatically lose every game unless they're the Wizards with Jordan Poole hitting crazy threes. But yeah, we'll see as it goes down.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff there out of the NBA and NHL as we quickly approach those playoffs. Let's jump into the MLB here. Opening day 2025 is tomorrow. Today, when you're hearing this show for the MLB season, our 3 teams' opening day games are at Miami for the Pirates, at Texas for the Red Sox, and at Houston for the Mets. Do you guys have any eyes on any bets for opening day in general? Pirates favorite in opening day. Mets an underdog, a plus 110 money line on opening day, and the Red Sox also a favorite. What are you guys thinking here on opening day?
Yeah, I think the Pirates with Skeens will get that win for sure. The Mets and the Red Sox have a little harder
Dude,
matchups.
It's the March Pirates. They'll get the win.
I think
They'll
Crochet
start out
pitches it to them
7-2,
tomorrow, though.
and then
Yeah,
It'll be
Pirates
buzzing.
in March, April are always way better than anticipated. But Mets get
they're a
pretty tough
playoff team
matchup.
in March and April.
Oh God, playing against a bunch of high schoolers in the Miami Marlins. The Red Sox taking on the Rangers. That'll be a good matchup. I'm just amped to see Garrett Crochet take the mound. We were talking about him earlier. They gave up top prospect Kyle Till to get him, and there's so many high expectations for a young Red Sox team. We brought in Bregman. We got Devers ripping the DH. Guys like Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, all the youngins taking the field. So I'm excited to see that. And then meanwhile, the Yankees are reeling with injuries. So maybe that's a team that can have a down year. And then we got to compete with those Orioles, too, who are also facing injuries. Grayson Rodriguez starting the year on the injured list. I do think the Toronto Blue Jays might have a little bit of a bounce back year, especially with guys like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette potentially leaving if they aren't able to live up to expectations. But if they
Scherzer too.
Yeah, but if they fall apart quick, I could see them selling Vladdy and Bichette before the deadline. 2 of their cornerstones going into full rebuild mode. But that rotation should be really good on paper. You got Gausman, you got Scherzer. I believe there's a couple other big names. Bowden Francis is down there too. I like him as a young guy. Step onto the scene, but The AL East will be really tough. Just like the NL East, Mackey's in a really tough one too. The Atlanta Braves, I mean, you got Acuna back, Strider coming back
Speaking
soon.
of the Yankees, before you move on from them, did Stroman ever get moved?
No, they still got Stroman.
Okay,
Yeah, he's.
I like
I
him.
think he's in the tail end of the rotation. I was a big fan
Yeah.
of him until he went there.
Because he said the thing. I was gonna say I liked him with who? Where was he? Chicago,
He was in the
Toronto.
He was in the Mets for a little while.
Mets.
Wait,
Yeah, he bounced around.
he made his career on the Blue Jays. That's
Toronto.
when he pitched for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. Because I remember him saying the thing he wanted to be a starter. He's a starter, and there wasn't really a spot for him in the rotation. But I think that was before the Yankees traded for
Max Fried.
Devin Williams when they
Yeah.
traded Cortez for Devin Williams, and then they got now obviously Garrett Cole's on the shelf, so it probably
Yeah.
worked out.
And Louis Gill is on the shelf too.
Yeah, it probably worked out.
So they got him. Will Warren's a nice little piece to watch too. He's an up and coming pitcher for the Yankees.
Schmidt, they still have.
They still got Ben Rice in the lineup there. I think he's mid. They got Austin Wells batting leadoff. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's kind of surprising to me considering they have Jazz Chisholm. Gonna see how that lineup plays out. Will Paul Goldschmidt be good in a Yankee uniform, or is he past his prime? Cody Bellinger, one of the streakiest players in the league.
I love him. I love that they got him.
He's cool. He hits those home runs. He'll do well in that short porch, but like I said, gets so streaky, strikes out a lot sometimes. Stanton starting the year on the IL again. I think that's no surprise to anybody, but still those
That's
pieces like
every year.
Ben Rice being a starter for the Yankees is crazy to me. I know he's really young, but shifting over to the NL East, that's going to be a competitive division too because Mackey's Mets went out and bought once again. They brought in Juan Soto. They have a very solid pitching staff that's starting the year pretty depleted. But I'm excited to watch Miguel pitch for you guys. He's pitching your second game there. Snagged him in my fantasy leagues. There's a little blooper for you guys. If you want to go snag Miguel in your fantasy leagues, it's a deep sleeper only, deep leagues only. But other than that, they got Senga as their 5-2. They got Juan Soto in the mix. I think Alonso has a little bit of a bounce back year. His numbers were down a little bit there. I mean, the power was there, but the average wasn't. But I still have those Mets penciled in at third in the division. I think they do make the playoffs, but I have the Phillies winning the division. I'm going to put the Braves down at 2, and I think that'll be the most competitive division in baseball. Watch the Nationals be a little bit better than they were last year, too. I don't know what you guys think. James Wood, absolute stud. Dylan Cruz, dog. CJ Abrams, good. Pitching staff.
I like
Mackenzie
Abrams.
Gore. Yeah.
Jackie, what do you think? Can you think you have any rebuttal on how your Mets win this NL East?
I mean, I think the Phillies come out on top in the NL East. I think the Mets will hold their own.
No love for Atlanta.
What?
they're coming off
I
injury.
don't see Atlanta winning the division. I think I just think Atlanta's a little overrated. I think
3 playoff teams, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think no matter what, all 3 make it.
I agree.
But I mean, they could all be sitting at like 92 wins.
Are you worried about your starting pitching at all?
No. I don't think it's any worse than it was last year. We're getting Senga back full time.
But they definitely overachieved last year.
Yeah, but it's basically all the same names aside from Severino.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they have a lot of young guys that can play up to potential too. I saw Brett Beatty won an opening day job with the Mets. He was hitting the cover off the ball, and then they got the younger Acuna who might make some noise. I don't know if he was option in
He's been
AAA.
playing well. He played well towards the end of last season too. The
I think-
lineup's good. The lineup's better this year. We have basically the same.
Plus Soto.
Yeah, we have Edwin Diaz fully healthy as well. I know he's
The closer, yeah, dog.
apparently he's lost a few.
Get the trumpets ready.
Yeah, so I'm not really worried about the Mets this year. I think they'll
You
be
guys
good.
know who James Wood is though?
Uh-huh.
On the
Pitcher, right?
Nationals? Yeah, no, he's outfielder.
Oh no, yeah, go.
He's going to be one of the best players in the league this year, I think. I think he might be able to. I think he's still considered a rookie, or if he played enough games last year, I'm not too sure. But he could win Rookie of the Year. He's going to be really good. I think he was a rookie last year, so actually I don't think he could. But he's going to have his takeoff season.
Well,
Then-
I was looking at the Rookie of the Year stuff. We can kind of just jump to that because we were going to look at that now with some of these player awards. But some of the guys listed for the Rookie of the Year, I feel like played. So what's the rule with how many games can you play and still be listed for this?
Yeah, it's probably less than half the season, maybe about 40 games, I'd guess. 40 to 60 games at max.
I'm going to try to pull it up here. I want to look at this list.
But there's got to be a few Japanese guys that came over that are going to push for Rookie of the Year, right? Or I don't know, Rookie Pitcher Rookie of the Year, something like that. But yeah, jumping on the scene, it should be pretty fun to watch. There's some Red Sox that could push for it. Christian Campbell, I mean, he's getting that full-time gig with the Red Sox, starting at second base, especially with Raffy at DH. It's going to be massive to watch.
I'm trying to find this list. Jesse, do you have this pulled up yet?
Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
Yeah, we can start with the player awards here.
Yeah, let me hear those rookies because I'm excited to see some of them.
National League Rookie of the Year, Rocky Sasaki plus 250,
Yep, the pitcher.
Dylan Cruz plus 300,
Dylan
Matt
Cruz,
Shaw.
dog. Give me Dylan
He
Cruz
played last year.
automatic.
Like, that's what I mean.
No, but he
Yeah,
was
I'm
called up at the end. He was called up
Okay.
late. He was like a roster expansion call up.
Matt Shaw plus 400, Bubba Chandler plus 900, Jordan Lawler at
He's
plus
good.
1800, and Drake Baldwin at plus 2000.
I
There's a
like
couple
Jordan
dogs.
Lawler as a
Give me my guy
sleeper.
Chandler, 9-1. I think they call him up early, like they did with Skeens last year.
It's gonna be Dylan Cruz though. Everyday spot, batting in the top, like primary spot in the lineup. I mean, batting behind James Wood, lefty righty combo too. Power speed combo, power average, does it all. 5 tool. You think a pitcher takes it? How often is it? I mean, Skeens, he'd have to at least come close to matching Skeens this season.
I don't know. I think I don't know. I think if he's supposed to be what he is, he's supposed to be.
No,
Like,
he is. He is. And did you see his quote coming into the year?
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, how he's gonna make him the two or something like that.
when they announced Skeens as the opening day starter, he goes, "That's crazy because next year you're gonna be the starter on day 2."
Yeah. So I mean, that's hype to hear. But we saw it with Skeens last year. You can be insane and still not get wins in that team. As many as you should at least. How many 1-run games he end up?
I was gonna say if all those 1-run
No,
games, go
no
the other way,
decisions. A lot of no decisions, right?
Skeens, yeah, he had so many no decisions, and so lost all of his losses. I think were by 1 run.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to be perfect and get some help. The fact that McCutcheon's still in your starting lineup is blasphemy to me. I said that to
Year
someone last night.
17, baby.
They were like, "He's still in the league." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he is. He's DHing now." Like, "Oh god, the designated hitter, a guy who can't hit." That's a tough scene, but I mean, he's a fan favorite, and I love McCutcheon. You know, how can you
Yeah,
not?
15 years ago,
Yeah, but like, move
2013,
on.
when he had the
Why doesn't
dreadlocks
Why
and like
doesn't
we
he
were in the
hang it up?
playoffs.
He's got to hang
Unanimous
it up.
MVP.
Like, I mean, I guess you guys your ownership's just happy because they can pay him nothing to keep
Yeah,
doing what he's doing.
he
Face
sells jerseys.
yeah,
Yeah.
tough scene. But I'm gonna go with Dylan Cruz. I think that's a lock. Jesse, what are the odds on that again? You said plus 350.
Plus 300.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite ones. Let me text that to some people right now. If not, Jordan Lawler though, watch out for him. He's really good.
Let's head over the American League here. Rookie of the Year, Jason Dominguez plus 400, Cameron Smith plus 600,
Christian Campbell.
Christian Campbell plus 650, Jackson Jobe plus 800, Roman Anthony plus 800, Jacob Wilson plus 850.
Jackson Jobe plus 800 is a great dart
Isn't
throw.
that Dominguez guy the
The Yankee outfielder.
I was gonna say, is he an outfielder for the Yankees? I thought he was second base.
And I think he's gonna hit in a primary spot, but the Yankees, they love switching their lineup. If your name's not Aaron Judge, you can hit anywhere in that lineup. They'll move it around until they find what's working. So he might find himself in or out of the lineup. That's what worries me. Um, my pick is definitely going to be Jackson Jobe. We talked about Bubba Chandler in the NL. Jackson Jobe is the #1 pitching prospect in the MLB, and he grabbed a spot in that Tigers rotation with a good spring training. He pitches behind Tariq Skubal, Jack Flaherty, Reese Olson, 3 complete studs. And the fact that he gets to go as the 5 is going to be tough for teams to see. I think he might jump on the scene just like we saw Skubal last year at plus 800. That's a good one to look at. But we know these rookies are, especially starting opening day. I think it was nice for Skeens to get a little minor league stuff under his belt. Job was already in the minor league, so he wasn't coming right out of college or anything like that. But
He was just destroying the minor leagues, and the Pirates were like, "All right, fuck it, we'll just call him up."
we might as well, and it paid dividends. But that's an anomaly. I feel like it's not too often you see a
Yeah,
rookie
that
come
doesn't
in.
happen. That's like a
Usually need to go back down for a little bit. But
yeah.
yeah, I like that one there. It's a good dart throw. Christian Campbell for my Red Sox. If he plays every day, he was
I'm not
one of the
familiar with
top
too many
prospects.
names on this list other than the guy on the Yankees.
I'm not educated enough.
Yeah, playing these dynasty baseball leagues is
Kumar
definitely very.
Rocker, he's the Rangers pitcher.
Yeah, but you want to know what's tough about Kumar Rocker and Jack Leader? 2 very hype pitchers. They won national championships with Vanderbilt, both drafted by the Rangers, and they both won starting spots in the Rangers rotation this year at the 4 and 5. But that's only due to injury with John Gray. I think Dean Dunning.
Kumar Rocker was drafted 2nd overall by the Mets a few years back, and then he just
He declined it.
Yeah, I think he declined. Who declines a 2nd overall pick?
Well, he didn't want to go to the Mets. Probably he probably wanted to pitch another year in college too.
I think
But
I remember the Pirates were up for that draft pick when those two guys were coming out of school.
Leader and
an
Kumar at
attitude
Vanderbilt.
problem, yeah.
I think
But
that's when we drafted Priester.
yeah, he had a lot of alleged issues or injury risks, but his upside's really there. His last spring training start, I think he threw 8 Ks to solidify his spot in the rotation. But you want to know what the Rangers just did to put pressure on these two young guys to perform right away? And if one of them doesn't, they're going to be sent down. Is they went and signed Patrick Corbin, inning eater out of the Washington Nationals, where they're basically keeping him in AAA right now. And if these guys aren't up to par, Jack Leader got shelled in his starts last year when he got called up for the roster expansions, then they'll get sent down to AAA. But regardless, if they start slow or if they don't have it right away, those two are such big prospects. Like they're gonna be really good pitchers, but they have insurance with Patrick Corbin there while their regular starters are on the shelf. But the upside's there. I mean, those aren't bad guys to look at either. More of a dart throw though. Jackson Jobe, I think, is the bona fide pitching prospect that you would want to throw on. Christian Campbell, though, you know him from the Red Sox. He shot up the prospect leaderboard ranking. Plays like every position: second, short, outfield. He gets it done on the base paths and in the field. He can hit. If he secured the starting second base role for the Red Sox, and he's going to hit near the top of the lineup. If he can keep that role, I could see him pushing for that as well. Let's hear the Cy Young's
and MVP.
Yeah, and most home runs. Ohtani.
Let's start with the American League MVP here. Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. leading the board here, both plus 300. Gunnar Henderson at plus 800. Corey Seager at plus 1,000. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at plus 1,200. And Yordan Alvarez plus 1,300.
I like
Jose Ramirez at plus 1,600.
There's only 3 names on that list that I like. I mean, I'm not going to say it, but Aaron Judge is always a good pick. But and then it's all the top 3: Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. is the consensus pick. You see everybody taking him. But if I were to throw someone, I'd throw someone deeper in the realm. It's going to be none of those guys that we even heard listed. It'd be someone that's going to shoot up the leaderboard because I don't like Yordan. I don't like Ramirez. I don't like Vladdy in a year where he might get moved. I can see him sitting a lot. But yeah, it's going to be Bobby Witt. It's a lame pick to take, but I think Bobby Witt probably wins it. But Gunnar Henderson starting the year on the shelf on the IL, if he plays up to his potential, he's like only his second year in the league, second or third year, he could win an MVP at some point. I feel like it's not too far away.
I would say, yeah, I kind of lean on Aaron Judge. The injury stuff always kind of scares me. I do see a lot of people taking Bobby Witt though. But
Bobby Witt does everything, and didn't Judge get it last year, and Witt got snubbed?
Yeah. Well, Witt didn't get snubbed, but I mean, he just
He had not that he got snubbed. Yeah, he had an MVP year. He just didn't win it.
Yeah.
I like what he does all around too. And honestly, I think he transformed that team. I don't know about you guys, but they could make a push for their division, those Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Pitching staff consisting of Cole
division.
Ragans, Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo. They brought in Jonathan India to bat behind Bobby Witt Jr., so there's some more power. I mean, I like what they're doing there.
Alrighty, let's check out the National League MVP here. Leading the board, Shohei Ohtani at plus 150. Juan Soto plus 600. Fernando Tatis Jr. plus 850. Mookie Betts at plus 1,000. Bryce Harper plus 1,400. And Kyle Tucker at plus 1,600.
Kyle Tucker in that Cubs uniform might really make some noise. I mean, I'm not going to
I agree.
But
I agree.
I think he's a great player. I can't believe they let him go from Houston. I mean, that's a cornerstone that you don't move, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be really good in Chicago.
And he has
I see a lot of people taking Ellie De La Cruz to win the MVP.
Oh yeah, he's so boomer bust. That's such like a dart throw, but like he does all the things. Like he could put up like 70 stolen bases and like the defensive wizardry, and he could hit for the pop.
Mackie, any love for your boy Lindor?
What's he at?
Plus 2,000.
I think Lindor's kind of in the same situation as like Mookie, where like they're not going to give it to him over Ohtani or Juan Soto.
Or Soto, yeah, because of the numbers they put up are going to be astronomical.
Yeah, exactly. But I think
how does Ohtani not get it again? He has the best lineup protection in the MLB.
Yeah, but it could also be one of those things where like LeBron could have won it from 2008 to 2016. But
don't they do that in the MLB? They give it out to the same guy a lot.
Well, I mean, he probably should win it then, but.
I mean, Judge has how many MVPs?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's tough to go away from Judge and Ohtani because the pop numbers that they put out for crazy. Then Ohtani adds the stolen bases on top of it. Like
yeah, Ace. I feel like baseball is the one where they like respect. They're like, we don't give a shit who won it last year. You're the best player.
Yeah, like you went off. And if he pitches too, what if Ohtani comes back and pitches lights out and puts up those crazy numbers?
You think he pitches this year? I stashed him on my IL for
100%.
fantasy.
Yeah, he's gonna be back probably end of May, I bet.
They keep saying mid-June.
Did you see they
early
slowed
June.
down his pitching regimen though to get him geared up for at bats?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll pick up the pitching a little bit more. But I mean, the Dodgers are so blessed with the depth of their pitching. They have Kershaw on the shelf and him on the shelf. They have great arms, young arms
They
in the
just
minor
got
leagues.
Sasaki and
Bobby Miller
Yamamoto.
and Landon Knack behind their regular guys. Snell, Glasnow, Yamamoto, Sasaki. Like, that's craziness what they have in Dodgerland, but I envy them very much. Tatis, I think, could eventually win an MVP. I mean, he's good enough too. And talk about a guy who has lineup protection: Cronenworth, Arias, and Machado.
It's a good
Whatnot.
team. Their division has the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, they got Dylan Cease, Musgrove, and Darvish. One of Mackey's NL East rivals is going to
They're
be
basically
battling
the
with the
wild card
Padres.
team.
Yeah, right.
They give no chance to win the division.
D-backs right there too. I mean, I'm excited to see that D-back staff. Have you guys looked at it recently? I mean, with Corbin Burns in the mix now, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Eduardo
They're going to be
Rodriguez,
pretty good.
and you know who's a sleeper right here? Here's a sleeper. Give me the odds on this guy, Corbin Carroll, to win the MVP.
Yeah.
What are the
After a
odds?
sophomore slump.
Plus
Yeah.
4,000.
And you know what, Mackey? He also heated it up. He was the hottest player in baseball in August after a terrible year. His stats, if you look at him last year with the way he started, was brutal. He actually ended with a pretty decent statistical run. They said he was injured. He fixed his swing, came back, lit it up, and then in the spring training continued that pop with some of the best numbers in spring training. Looks fully healthy, launching home runs, could lead the league in stolen bases. Top pick, number one prospect formerly. Look for Corbin Carroll, plus 4,000. I like that pick.
Alrighty, let's jump into the American League Cy Young winner here. Starting out, Tariq Skubal plus 350, Garrett Crochet plus 350, Cole Reagan, is it
Cole
Reagans?
Reagans, yeah.
Reagans at plus 900, Logan Gilbert plus 1,000, Jacob DeGrom plus 1,200, Pablo Lopez plus 1,800, and Frambler Valdez at plus 2, and Hunter Brown at plus 2,000.
Ace, I'm going to go with your boy Crochet. I said it on Instagram today. I think he could win the Cy Young.
Yeah, I think he could too. I mean, he's in a great spot too with a team that's trending all the way up. They're giving him all the momentum. And last year, if you guys
He'll
watched
have
him
the
in
wins
Chicago,
and the I agree.
do you see how many strikeouts he was putting up? He's a double-digit strikeout guy.
Stud last year on the worst team in the MLB.
You know what's crazy is like Chris Sale 2.0. He's the lefty with the big slider, coming from a shitty White Sox team to a Red Sox team that has his eyes on a World Series. He's literally living the Chris Sale dream. We traded Moncada and Kopech then for him. We traded Teal and someone else for him now. So, you know what I hope is we just pay him before the season starts, or else that price is going to keep going up. I
Yeah.
mean, do you think
Especially if he wins the Cy Young.
Tariq Skubal, a lot of people like him to run it back. I don't. You want to know why? Because even though I picked the Tigers to win the division, that's like too weak of a team, in my opinion, to bank on winning back-to-back Cy Youngs. Cole Reagans, I think he's very, very good on Kansas City.
I think there's good value. I was just gonna say Reagan's, but I'd say Crochet.
Reagans and Skubal. I'm just not taking them because I don't believe enough in the Tigers or the Royals to give me enough wins. Personally.
Yeah, I'd say Crochet is my pick. I like that plus 350. That's good. That's good odds too.
Yeah, I like it too.
Alrighty. Over the National League Cy Young here, leading the board, Paul Skeens at plus 210, Zach Wheeler at plus 700, Blake Snell at plus 1,000, Chris Sale at plus 1,400, Corbin Burns at plus 1,600, and Spencer Strider at plus 1,800.
Definitely not Spencer
plus
Strider.
210, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't. It's like the same as the Tigers and Royals argument. I just don't think it's really what we just said before. What's your lineup? A bunch of guys that can't hit. McCutcheon's in the lineup. Like, they're not going to give him enough run support to get the numbers that you need to win a Cy Young.
I mean, technically, he had all the numbers to do it last year. He was minus odds
DeGrom's
whenever
won a
they
Cy Young
announced.
with like an 8-9
Jesse,
record.
what's Yamamoto's odds to win it?
Plus 2,000.
I like Yamamoto. Give me that.
There's no value on Skeens at 210.
Wheeler plus 700 maybe.
I like Yamamoto Cy Young plus 2,000. That's crazy. I think he's going to stack wins this year, like stack them heavy. After last year, too, he was getting acclimated to the league. He's going to be fully healthy, eating innings for a Dodgers team that isn't going to lose a lot of games. Watch him put up 20-plus wins this year.
That's a good pick.
I like the odds on it, too. Corbin Carroll at plus 4,000 and then Yamamoto at plus 2,000. Nice little slips right there. I might have to put those boys in.
Their season home run leader leading the board here, Aaron Judge at plus 260, Shohei Ohtani at plus 500,
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Schwarber at plus 1,100, Brent Rooker at plus 1,400, and Pete Alonso plus 1,600.
It's gonna be one or two.
What do you think about Brent Rooker leading the league in home runs because he's
'Cause they're
playing in that
playing in that.
A's stadium? That's
Yep.
really weird.
Yeah.
And he puts up 30 plus home
Dude,
runs
he's
a
a
year.
dog. I like him.
I'm a big fan.
They
You know
could
who
be
else is
good
gonna
this year.
break? Yeah, the Athletics. They're not gonna be good yet, Huff, but they're gonna be a lot better than they were. And they might flirt with 500 baseball, but they're gonna be good when they go to Vegas. Like they're gonna be really good. They have a lot of good prospects. Jacob Wilson, the one from West Virginia, who's gonna be good. They have Lawrence Butler. I don't know if you know who that
Yeah,
is.
he's a stud.
He signed the bag extension in the offseason. 5-tool player. He had his breakout last year. I think it's going to be a bigger one here. He steals bases. He hits home runs. Brent Rooker, classic vintage power hitter, just playing DH for them now. Hits bombs. I think they still have Langoliers. They have one of the best closers in the league in Mason Miller. It throws over
They
100
still
miles an
have,
hour.
what's his name? Blade.
Lee Day.
They have a couple. They have a couple of nice pieces.
They have Shoon something. His Shoe isn't his last name. They got a bunch of guys that are young that can contribute. Their pitching staff's really young. They got Ests and Beto and all these different guys that are in and out. But I just think they're going to be primed for the big time once they go to Vegas. I think the league's going to help push them like they do in all the sports. All
Yeah.
these Vegas teams are always good, but how can you not be? You're playing in Vegas. You want to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
But watch for Rooker to push. I'm taking Ohtani. Plus 500 is crazy odds to me, though. Plus Ohtani, 500.
Yeah, I'd say Ohtani or the Rooker case. I kind of like the.
What were the odds on Rooker again, Jesse?
Sorry, it's really far down here.
No, it's all good.
Rooker plus 1,400.
Yeah, I like that.
Those are two good slips to take on the same thing.
I just think Ohtani at plus 500 is kind of crazy. I think it should be lower than that. I think it should be around Judge, no?
I mean, you can hit Ohtani and lose Rooker, and you still plus
Make
450.
good.
Yeah, like
That's crazy to me. Don't you think it should be about plus 300? I thought you were going to say 260 for Judge and 300, 350 for Ohtani.
yeah.
500's wild. Definitely going to shop that line. I mean, all these lines we definitely got to shop pretty well, right? Because you can find some big differences in futures.
Futures are the one thing that you have to shop. Number one.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch. I think one more last thing. We don't even need the odds on it, but one thing that I think is going to be fun to watch is the stolen base leader. There's always some young guys now that can just jump onto the scene. But
Acuna's back.
yeah, but he's coming off injury, so I don't think he's going to be taking off as much as he should be. Carroll's another one to watch, but it's probably Ellie, right? It's got to be Ellie.
I like. I took Ezekiel Tovar from the Rockies in fantasy. He's a bad guy. I like
Jaron
him.
Duran from the Sox can swipe.
Yeah,
bags
there's
pretty
a
well.
couple of sleepers.
And
out
there's a couple young guys.
Butler.
Yeah,
Ellie De La Cruz is favored for regular season stolen base leader at minus 130.
yeah, I think it's gonna be
Carroll's the
Ellie.
closest at plus 700.
Yeah, I
What's
took.
Lawrence Butler?
He's probably pretty low.
I feel like he got to be not.
Plus 5,000.
All right. Yeah. It's kind of
Corbin Carroll right there. You want to know why he's a good take though? He gets on base all the time, but he's puts a lot of pop in. It's got to be Ellie though. Minus 130 is nutty.
It's
That's
got to
crazy.
be.
But didn't he put up? Remember last year we were talking about it. He almost put up stolen. Do you have over 100 stolen bases or almost 100? Remember we were talking about that? We were like, is he gonna crack 100?
I don't remember. Because what was Acuna's record? 70-40?
Acuna was 70-40, yeah.
But they changed the rule with the pitch clock. It's so much easier to swipe bags.
Right, but that's what he did. He did 70-40. I think it was like 72-43. And then Ohtani did 50-50.
He stole 67. Ellie De La Cruz stole 67 bases in 2024.
Yeah. So, to win stolen bases.
I'm
Yeah, that's
excited.
crazy.
Baseball's back.
Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow, opening day. Let's go. Some baseball during work. Get your
Why is
MLB
there no 1
TV
o'clock games? I
fired up.
don't get it.
Yeah, I hate that.
First
What'd
game's
you
at
say?
3 o'clock.
There's no early game.
And there's like, I was just going to say there's
Yeah,
no.
first game's
12
what is
o'clock
it, 3 or 4?
3, but I mean, why is there no 1 o'clock game? Like, it's opening day for the MLB.
Yeah. Should be on. I'm gonna have to wait. 3 o'clock. Who do we get? The Yankees and Brewers, the Orioles and Blue Jays. Those are the first 2 games of the day. So Huff's gonna be wearing his Yankee hat. But it's Rodon, not Cole. So I don't know if that makes you happy. And then for the Orioles, we don't get to see Grayson Rodriguez, so I don't. But my boy Garrett Crochet is going up against Nate Eovaldi at 4 o'clock. Huff, get that future in now and go watch him deal. He's gonna be striking out heads left and right.
Do you guys want to go over AL, NL, or World Series winners?
Ace Miyazaki, I think we went through the some of these last week. If you want to give any of the division and
Yeah,
World
I think I
Series,
said this
whatever.
before. I'm gonna go division. I'll go with the homer pick, but I think they're right there. I'm gonna go with the Red Sox to win the AL East. They probably got some really good value still too. In the AL West, I'm gonna go with the Mariners there. I keep going back and forth on my AL Central pick. I keep saying the Tigers because it'd be a flashy, like cool pick to hit on, saying I took the Tigers. So I'm gonna stick with the Tigers, but
That's who I went with.
the Royals keep staying in the back of my mind that I'm very worried about because I think they might be really good this year. It's actually a much better division than it normally
Mackie,
is.
who'd you say in AL Central? I said Tigers. You said who?
Twins.
I think I said the Guardians.
I think you
Yes, you
said
did.
Cleveland too. Yeah.
I think the Guardians are
But-
going to be in for a tough one. I could see them finishing 4th in that division this year, only above
Yeah,
the
I
White.
mean, I think there's 4 teams that can win that division for sure.
The Twins are like the best team that cannot stay healthy at all. And their pitching staff is gross too.
I like that. I like that team.
They have Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Ober. That's nuts to me. But their
I
hitters,
like Royce Lewis.
you have Royce Lewis and Byron Buxton, 2 guys that cannot stay on the field, but they're so good. Jumping over to the NL, I think I'm going to stick with the Dodgers. Easiest pick I could have told you. I alluded to earlier. I'd take the Phillies here, but that's going to be a nail biter. Going to come down to the end. Game 162 will probably be meaningful. I think it's going to go Phillies, Braves, Mets, but very, very close. Less than 10 games separating them. And then in the middle, I'm going to go with the Reds. That's my sleeper pick. So both Central
Over the
divisions. AL
Cubs.
yeah, I'm going with the Reds here. I think they have a big bounce back year. A lot of guys coming off of injury. Excited to see Matt McLean jump onto the scene again. He had a great rookie year. Missed the whole year last year. Him and Ellie up the middle is really stoked to see. I think Spencer Steer's missing injury time to start the year. He's going to be good. Tyler Stevenson's a solid catcher that can hit the ball. And then Abbott, Hunter Green is going to be pitching tomorrow. It's going to be fun to watch.
For American League, National League, and the World Series.
Give me the Dodgers in the NL. That's my easy pick right there. I think you guys knew I was going to say that one.
Yeah, it's. I think it's built for the Dodgers to at least get back there. So I'll say Dodgers in the NL.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably like minus 200, but I guess, yeah, Dodgers. I mean, look at the
Yeah,
roster.
Mackey's on the wave. Get
Look at
your
the roster,
Otani,
I mean,
get your Otani Fortnite skin with the Otani hat, and we can go to Japan and see Otani on every wall there because he's great. And then in the AL though, that's a crapshoot. That is a tough
You could
pick.
say so many different teams in the AL.
I'm gonna say it because I want to speak into existence. Give me the Boston Red Sox. So I'm following that MLB prediction. Chalk, Mackey. Dodgers, Red Sox. No insight. No.
I'm gonna. It's tough. Mackie, do you have a confident pick in the AL?
no.
Yeah, Mariners pitching staff is nails.
Yeah, I don't think it's coming out of the West. Give me a rematch.
Do you like the Yankees to come out of
What
the?
do you mean? You like the Yankees? Like
Garrett Cole
Red
is like
Sox.
their guy.
They just got Max Fried. It's literally a spitting image of Garrett Cole.
He's not even opening starting day. Is he that good?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the AL's a lot hard. I mean, it definitely is a lot harder. There's
Are
no
people
Dodgers,
counting
but
out the Orioles? Last year
I want
knocked-
to say
they-
Baltimore,
they-
but they choke every year.
No, but we
They-
knocked them last year. Our knock was their inexperience, but now they're experienced.
No,
I'll say Baltimore, but I didn't want to give you another reason to chirp me about a team in your division. But
No, I won't chirp you about the Orioles because I like them. I think they're good.
I think the AL representative is one of those three teams: Yankees, Red Sox,
You
Orioles.
think it's coming out of the East?
Yeah, I think one of you three are going to play the Dodgers.
I don't think the Red Sox get there.
Yeah, well, you better hope not, buddy, or else there's going to be a loud bandwagon coming for
I
you.
wouldn't hear you. I wouldn't.
I
you
can't
wouldn't-
wait to Mackie. I can't wait to hear how he spin zones how the Red Sox can beat the Dodgers in the World Series after.
Oh, I don't know.
off
That's
the
so
Dodgers for the past
tough.
2 years.
Oh, Mookie
Dude, he's
Betts
gonna have to
too.
choose between Otani's meat in his mouth or his Red Sox.
Hey, at least all I know is I'm the only one that picked my team. Huff, I don't think he could pick his team to win a high
You
school
don't have
division.
you don't have to play the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Mackie, on the other hand, you just brought in Juan Soto. You have no confidence. You didn't even pick your team to win the division.
You don't have to play the Dodgers. Who's your
You
World
don't have
Series
to-
pick?
The Dodgers. It's got to be back to back.
You didn't even pick your team.
I picked my team to get there at least. But I think
Yeah, I
mean,
haven't met who's the Dodgers
no,
in the
no,
NL
no, think about this. It's crazy to say now because they just won it all. It's like, oh, you're just picking the former champion. But when they got Shohei Ohtani, they were already the best team in the MLB, and then they added the best player. Like that's
And then
like,
they got even better this year.
yeah, it's like built to go back to back. Like if they don't go back to back, I think it's a terrible season.
Yeah,
I agree.
roster's too good.
That roster's insane, dude. That's an all-star team. You have 3 MVPs hitting back to back to back. Craziness. Pitchers, like how many Cy Youngs are on that staff too? Like crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Crazy.
I think it. I'll say Baltimore is probably the pick. I'd say
Yeah, they just gotta stay healthy, I think.
they're gonna get healthy. Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm going to run through these odds real quick here. National League winner here. Dodgers leading the board there, plus 140. Braves at plus 500. Phillies plus 650. Mets plus 700. Padres plus 1300. Over in the AL,
Central not even represented there.
over in the AL here, Yankees leading the board at plus 350. Orioles plus 650. Astros plus 750. Red Sox plus 800. Rangers plus 900.
I love the
Astros too
Astros too. I
high.
gassed the
Astros too
Astros, but
high.
I don't think they're I think they get a wild card, but I don't think they're winning their division.
You know, I don't think they have it anymore. There's no more
Watch
trash
watch watch
thing.
for this guy though. You want to know we were talking about home runs earlier or big players in the AL? Watch for Christian Walker to have a monster season statistically. I think he's gonna go 30 plus and 100 plus, hitting in that short porch and left, that bumps out, hitting behind Altuve and some of the other guys they got down there in Houston. So I think they'll still be relevant. They were my pick earlier in the year, and then I switched to the Mariners. I think the Mariners finally turn it up, but the Mariners can't hit the baseball, so we'll see.
And then for the World Series here, Dodgers leading the board at plus 250. And then a large jump, Braves and Yankees both at plus 900. Phillies at plus 1100. Mets at plus 1200. Orioles at 1600. And the Red Sox plus 1800 with the Astros.
Give me the Mets at 1200 because if they can get past the Dodgers, they're gonna win it.
Good value. Good value on any of our teams.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, plus 1200 to win it.
But didn't we say this last year, Mackie? The plus 250 that we see on the Dodgers right now is only going to get lower.
Oh yeah, it's probably the best value you're gonna get.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe throwing it now. Maybe right before the playoffs is when you do it because they might not finish in the top spot. I'm not a big regular season.
I mean, their win total set at 105.5. So
Yeah, but couldn't you see them just being a wild card for some reason?
Already to
oh, the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
If those Diamondbacks and Padres can play good baseball and stack wins.
You think the Dodgers are gonna be a wild card team? They're like minus 800 to win the NL West.
I think they're higher.
No, they're not. No shot. They're in a tough division.
Dude, it's the Dodgers. They have 105.5 win total.
Yeah, but the
They're
other two
literally. I
Dodgers
think
are
the
minus
Padres are
600 to win the NL West.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
What do you mean? Look at the team.
No, I love
You
them.
can lose 3 of their top players and still be the best team in the league.
No, I agree. But those other teams can put up 100 plus wins. Is all I'm saying.
That's why I said earlier the
No
Padres.
way. 100 wins is a lot, dude.
That's why I
Yeah.
said earlier the Padres ceiling is a wild card spot.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I don't even want to back that take. It's not like my take. I just think that's a tough division. Is all. Valiant opponents.
Alrighty, let's jump over to the NFL here as we continue to get closer to the draft here shortly. First point here, the New York Giants have signed 2 free agent quarterbacks to add to their QB room, signing Jameis Winston on Sunday. And then Tuesday, the news broke that they agreed to a 1-year, $21 million deal, $10.5 million guaranteed for quarterback Russell Wilson. Knowing these moves, what do you think the Giants are going to do with their number 3 pick here in the draft this year? Huff, what do you think?
Travis
And
Hunter.
your newest New York Giants fan, Huff, how do you feel about this?
I knew this was coming. I knew once I figured once they didn't re-sign him at the end of the season that there was obviously something that they didn't want him, whatever. He didn't want to come back, whatever the story was. They started entertaining Rodgers. He even said, he released a statement saying he wanted to be a Steeler up until the very end when he signed the deal. He just obviously didn't like the whole entertaining Rodgers, are we going to do this guy? What about, drafting and all this stuff? I think he wanted a spot where he can at least fight for, obviously, I think it's a very similar situation to what he walked into last year. He walks into the Giants with Jameis Winston and now him. Are they going to draft a quarterback with that number 3 pick? We can talk about that in a second, but I think he looks at the spot with the Giants as a good opportunity to at least play. I don't think he looks at it as contenders, or he would have maybe. I'd like to think the Steelers are better contenders than the Giants, but at least making the playoffs last year. But I don't know. I think it's tough. I wish we would have kept him, but I'm kind of ready for a 4-win, 5-win season. Hopefully we get Mason in there. It's just going to be tough. I don't know. I really wanted to keep him, but not for $21 million. I can tell you that.
Yeah, he's gonna have a rough season with those Giants.
Do you think they draft a quarterback? I don't. Ace, you're muted.
I was gonna say it's a blessing in disguise that you don't have to root for Russell Wilson anymore. Because I'll tell you what, their win total didn't move from 3.5 wins, the New York Giants, before or after the signing. So I don't even know if he's gonna win that starting job or keep it all year. Jameis Winston's a very
I mean,
valiant backup. We saw Justin Fields start over Russell Wilson last year. Let's not forget about that.
Well, Russ was hurt in
injured.
training camp. Russ was the
Yeah,
starter.
but didn't they turn back to Justin Fields at one point too? And Justin
Yeah.
Fields held the job for a little bit too, or there was at least controversial that.
No, they're just they
Fields was
definitely
4-2. They
weren't.
pulled Fields when Russ was healthy, and they never went back to Fields.
They just weren't as
Regardless, I just think
consistent on
I
getting
was
them.
talking with some Giants fans the last couple of days. This is a great year to tank for them, and they said they're just goated at winning games between week 16 and 18 to mess up their draft pick, which those Giants love to do. But the fact that it's even an open competition, you have Jameis Winston and Tommy Cutlets going against Russell Wilson is crazy to me. I would never pay that guy that much money at this age. A lot of respect to Russell Wilson for what he did, winning Super Bowls, playing great quarterback, even played good in Denver, played okay last year. But I just don't think he's worth that money. And the Giants are clearly tanking here to get their quarterback of the future in the next draft.
So who do you think they take? Abdul Carter if they can?
Travis
Travis
Hunter,
Hunter?
maybe. Yeah, I think they get Travis Hunter. I think they're missing out big time, especially when Shadur Sanders. I'm a big Shadur Sanders guy. When he starts lighting it up in the NFL, I thought he should be a consensus top pick. I would go Cam Ward than Shadur Sanders, and I would take my risks there if I was the New York Giants. But hey, if they want to tank again, kudos to them and go again next year. Get Travis Hunter and Malik Neighbors together, though. I mean, hey, pretty fire. He might play corner if he goes there, though. I hope he falls to me. I'm just hoping he falls to me, but we'll see.
I definitely think there's a chance he does.
Yeah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I'll take whoever. I mean, any of those top four are going to be great. And they'll help our team in different ways. So, Giants under 3.5 wins, if you were wondering, by the way.
Alrighty, let's get to our next point here. Aces New England Patriots have agreed to terms with Drake May's new number one target, wide receiver Stephon Diggs. He has signed with the Pats on a 3-year, $69 million deal with $26 million guaranteed. Is this the big splash receiver the Patriots need? And Ace, how are you feeling heading into this draft?
Yeah, definitely gassed up. I mean, I've been more gassed up about the whole free agency as a whole. Honestly, the way they've handled the Patriots since the end of the season, it was a disaster under Gerard Mayo. But immediately they went and got one of the most sought after coaches. As soon as he took one call with the Jets, they're like, "Hey, we're bringing in Mike Vrabel, proven playoff winning coach, won a division, built up a defense from a team that was really, really bad." He went and brought in Josh McDaniels, who had a lot of success. Brought in Doug Marrone to coach the O-line as a former head coach. The defense got shored up a ton in free agency. Let's not forget they're bringing back guys like Duggar and Peppers, Keon White, and then on top of that, we're bringing back Barmore and Bentley up the middle to help out to stop the run. Then they add a bunch of defensive pieces alongside Christian Gonzalez, one of the best corners in the league, probably like second or third right now. They added Carlton Davis on the other side for a lockdown Super Bowl champion. They added Milton Williams on the big deal. A bunch of other pieces throughout the lineup. Robert Spillane, Harold
Milton
Landry.
Williams is your best addition so far.
I think Robert Spillane's going to be a really good one. Carlton Davis is a stud too, I think. And then we added 4 linemen. So we grabbed that center from the Vikings. We grabbed Morgan Moses. We grabbed Wes Schweitzer or something like that. And another guy. Can't be worse than the undrafted free agents we were randomly signing to put on our O-line last year. But then they finally get an offensive piece and they bring in Stephon Diggs, who has the highest ceiling out of any, or most skill out of any wide receiver the Patriots have seen since number 11 took the field for us, which was like almost a decade ago now. But regardless, a superstar receiver with a vendetta against the best team in the league. And now you have the potential of pairing up Travis Hunter to Torrey McMillan alongside of him if they decide to go down that route. If not, you get more protection for Drake May or an impact defensive player. I mean, this team just played it perfectly. They had so much money. They knew what they were doing. 2-year tank paid off. They got the number 4 pick every round, 5 picks in the top 100. They have their franchise quarterback. They have the coaching in place. They have the second easiest schedule in the league. We looked at that yesterday. It's craziness.
Yeah, those opponents were crazy. I was looking at that.
Yep, and they spent all the money adequately. They addressed so many different roster positions. I just think Drake, regardless of how well they've done this offseason, I was ready for a Drake May snap off. He's too good not to. Him and Jaden Daniels are taking over that league. What a QB class we got last year. Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. Huff, how much do you wish you were in that spot you were in right now last year?
We could have got Bo Nix like 12th overall.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's so many good quarterbacks from that last class. That's why this year looks so thin. Well, I'm just ready for my Patriots to make that jump. I think they're going to definitely take that number 2 spot in the AFC East this year. Exciting times here.
You think they're? I haven't looked at the Dolphins' schedule either.
I'm just surprised Mike McDaniel didn't get fired. I think this is he's going to do it after this year.
Mackie, any input on
what, Diggs?
on Patriots?
It's not a bad move. It's obviously getting Drake May's guy. I think it's just tough with the attitude problem and coming off an ACL injury. I think they obviously would have been better off with like a guy like T. Higgins, but that obviously wasn't possible. So
And you had to give up picks.
I think next year you guys draft a receiver. Like
you got your
now the
guy.
writing's on the
See
wall.
how it
Like now
works.
next year you can start to use your picks on.
I saw that they might be able to. This is actually a pretty deep receiver draft coming up. If they don't take Travis Hunter or McMillan with that number 4 pick, they could trade up with the assets they have, or they could take one at 36th overall. An impactful one too. So they tanked really well and they had so much money. It just gave them so much flexibility, and they're in a great spot to literally turn around the whole team. It's a completely new roster.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, it's not the end of the world. Just
Do it again, like every other, like 28 NFL teams do every year.
not like you have a small window or anything.
Alrighty. I think that's going to just about do it here for us this week. Lots to look forward to as we get into Sweet 16 of March Madness, Elite 8 here next week. Lots to look forward to as we keep getting closer to the NHL and NBA playoffs, the NFL draft, MLB opening day tomorrow. But that's all I got. Anything else to add, boys?
I think that's going to do it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.